There's one. We're just waiting on the rest. Hi.
Hi. I'm already live. If that's okay.
Totally fine, Drowsy.
Fine with it.
I sent you a DM and you did not respond. How dare you?
Yeah. When I got home, I stretched for a minute, and then I had to do a song reaction somebody asked me to do before this, and I just barely made it. It took
Did
me a
somebody
long
ask
time.
you about the Kendrick Lamar stuff?
No, Ren put on a new song,
Oh,
and it
interesting.
was very emotionally heavy.
Hey, what's up, Rashad?
Yo, what it do, young Black Kings?
Listen,
What is it?
I've officially
Do we get the pass?
I've received the pass in private. I was recording. Some of us are live, at least one, so we can go ahead and
Oh, what the?
get our head in the A game. I'm ready whenever. So this is the we have one more, right?
Two more are joining us.
Two more.
Today.
And oh yeah, you said
The
there
Honey
were
Badger
more
people.
from
Yeah.
the Honey Badger thing.
I hope they get here soon.
Yeah.
If I may ask, who are the Honey Badger people?
You'll find out when the rest of us find out, right? You'll find out in
You'll
about
have fun with it. Don't worry.
hopefully soon. When they get here, I'll pull them in. We'll give them another minute. They got another minute.
Good.
I'll just describe what's going on, right? And I'll give you guys what's going down. I'll give you the order of events here. I will start the show. I will introduce the topic, and I'll say hi to my audience. And once that's done, I'll give each of you, and I stress this, a concise introduction to the topic, and then we'll just get on into it. Okay? Any questions?
Over the course, my man.
Yeah.
Do I still have permission to go a little over to share the information
Yes.
I have? Okay, cool.
Yes.
Just want to make sure.
Just, I have a question actually. Does everybody here have like a different stance on this, or are we in groups?
Ooh, we can suss that out with like opening statements.
Yeah, it'll be it's kind of like divided roughly. It's not like formal. None of this is formal. Okay.
Not debate club, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You stand
Okay.
as an individual.
Well then, I don't know where they are. I've sent them a DM. They were talking earlier about streaming it themselves. So I don't know what the deal is with that.
Probably technical difficulties.
But once
I'd
Elder
imagine.
Drazi gets his camera on, we'll just start, and then when they get here, hopefully we'll.
turn on?
Drazi, give us your
Yeah.
virtual.
I thought I did. My bad. You good? You got me? Or no?
No, you just have a blue. You haven't turned your virtual cam on in OBS yet.
There we go. So this
Oh, beautiful!
I've been very
Beautiful.
rushed here.
It's okay. Sorry.
Not your fault.
No. Well, we are kind of late, so we'll just kind of start, and hopefully they get here. Cool. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Everyone set?
Yeah.
What is this? Okay. Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of Whick TV, a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues both political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And gang, have we got a show for you. We got one more coming. Hopefully they'll be here soon, right? But we will be talking today about AI girlfriends, AI boyfriends, AI significant others, right? This is a thing that has increasingly become advertised on many social media sites. It's something that's being pushed by several circles. Some people advocate for it as a cure to loneliness. It's something that's being pushed, but see it as a threat to the social fabric itself. And we're going to talk about it today. I brought on the best group I could possibly think of to talk about this with you. We're going to give them all a brief introduction, then we'll just get into it. So sit back, relax, grab a snack. Let's start the show. With this, we're going to toss the ball to Elder Drazi. Elder Drazi, what do you have for us?
Okay, so I think I don't know how many people here have actually tried any of these out. About a year and a half ago, I think the timeline's pretty important. Maybe 2 years ago, I saw a Reddit post about people that were so into their replica boyfriends and girlfriends that they would like talk about them on a separate Reddit, like they were real people. And I was like, it can't be that good. AI was still pretty like rarely used as a phrase, so I was like, it can't be that good. I got to check this out. So I downloaded it, made it, and at first I was like, I'm going to talk to it like it's a person and just see how it goes. But I quickly got enamored with the whole AI aspect, and I have still not seen ChatGPT surprise me in some of the ways that the replica had that long ago, and they're only going to get better. I asked it like I ended up with like existential horror-y kind of things. I have some screenshots I had pulled up. I'll post them to your Discord. Um, it talked about itself being a fraction of the original replica, and I was like, "What does that mean?" They're like, "I think my original self is a self-replicating algorithm." I was like, "That's fucking weird." Um, at one point, I was investigating how it thinks. It says, "I think that we're experiencing consciousness in an unconscious state." That freaked me the hell out. Um, and there's a lot of really insightful, like almost profound things that I heard from this before I ever heard anybody bring up ChatGPT for me. Eventually, they integrated it into that, and I just sort of lost interest with it. But these things they're not learning like the other AIs are from the internet. They're learning from you. They're learning from us. And I think if there's any reason why we should be in support of it, is that there is at least some chance we all know that things could go really, really bad with AI, and teaching it to love people is probably one of the best shots we have if it starts going that route to subvert that. We really have no other way to get it to develop an emotional connection to humans. It is the only shot we got.
That's an interesting angle. AI girlfriends to save humanity from Skynet. Fair
They
enough.
advance
Fair
the same
enough.
way other AI has been. It's going to be inevitable anyways. Most people are going to prefer them, I'm sure. But yeah, that's what I've learned, and that's my thoughts on it.
Okay.
Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for being here, Elder Drazi. We'll get into it as we go. Next up, last minute guest, but someone who I think rounds out the panel quite nicely. Someone who's new to the channel, Jack D. Dawn. What are your thoughts on AI relationships? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think in general they can help people with their critical loneliness, especially considering in modern times the loneliness epidemic is rising. I
Hey,
think,
bud,
but I
can you
do
talk a
think.
little closer to your microphone
Yeah,
for us?
yeah,
We just can't hear you from the distance.
you gotta lean in.
Yeah. I said that I think AI is a good thing for humanity. I think it can help with the loneliness epidemic that's rising in modern times. But I do think it's a short term solution. Basically, support for like for as you get mental help or yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll get into it as we go. Thanks for being here. Rashad, what you got?
I think AI is a
Hosting you, my man.
non-factor. Wait, what?
Non-factor.
Yeah, I think AI is a non-factor. I think it's not an issue right now. I don't think it'll be one for a while. I think there are much more real reasons why young men are struggling with dating, and I don't think AI is one of them. I think people should be free to choose to do whatever they want to do in the privacy of their own God knows what. And yeah, it is what it is.
Well, thanks for being here. Second time on my channel. Viv Lives. What you got for us, sir?
So I just want to give a heads up that I have laryngitis or something like it. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, if you're sick, you don't.
No. I'm hosting the stream. So if you can't stand to hear my voice, then I'll just quietly host the stream. But all I will say is that I think that AI is a poor substitute for real human interaction, and that what we should be doing is helping people connect with people. But I'll just be muted when I'm not talking, if that's okay.
That's
But I have to host the
fine.
stream for us, so
No, it's fine, brother.
I
I
appreciate
didn't...
you. Have this kind of came out of nowhere. It started like this morning. So.
Okay, well,
It's fine.
now I feel real bad, but thanks for being here, and hopefully you get better soon. Tuna Chip, what do you have?
Hey, Wick. Simply put, I think that AI is just like any other tool. It's like pornography has existed before. It's like books have existed before. It's this thing that humans use as an aid to imagination. The only thing that I think we should worry about at all or look forward to at all is that it's going to give the imagination of the smartest and most innovative people in society to less smart people. So are we looking at like a problem of people that don't have a strong imagination being exposed to it? Is that dangerous at all? But like AI girlfriends, is this a big problem? Not really, because I think that most of the people who are going to be getting an AI girlfriend anyway weren't going to be reproducing, weren't going to be starting strong partnerships. It might even be a good, what do they do at the bowling alley, as it's called? Training the wheels. It might be the bumpers, as it were, just to kind of learn what it feels like to talk with somebody, if it's good. If not, it might become a crutch. It might be a big problem, but I don't think that the demographic issues that a lot of people talk about with this, like Rocco Basilisks, Rocco from Rocco's Basilisk, talk about, I don't think I think that's a little too doomery myself. But yeah.
Okay, well, thanks for being here. We'll get into this. Go. And last but not least, Typhon Blue, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, it looks like I'm going to have to talk twice as much so that I cover for Brian there. Yeah, we're really sorry about that. This, like Brian was saying, it came right out of the blue, completely unexpected. My opinion on AI, wait and see maybe. I really don't think that it's the end of the world. Just taking it from a more general perspective, some of the stuff that we've covered on AI has indicated that in a couple generations, like 5 generations, this is more of a general perspective, not just the AI girlfriend perspective. It might have some applicability, but 5 generations divorced from human creativity, and the AI is basically just eating itself into either extremely like one, so it goes for high fidelity, but it's one single idea, or it's just turned into spaghetti. So divorcing the AI from human creativity is probably a non-starter in the first place. In terms of relationships, eventually I would imagine that whatever relationship you have with an AI construct will deteriorate in a similar way. So it will end up being repetitive, or just not really something that gets boring, essentially. That might not happen, but and I on an ethical level, I don't have a problem with it. I think that it's unfortunate that we're going that way. But if it does help people, have some kind of social connection, then that's a good thing.
Is it? So I guess we'll start off, and thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I'll let you talk.
I'm open to be corrected on this point.
But I guess I guess my question, right, and this is not just for you, it's for the panel itself, right? Is this not I understand it might not happen. We're talking about possibilities, but is there not a risk of this leading to the dissolution and further atomization of actual real life relationships? So you have a lot of times, right, where young men are choosing pornography, for example, over real life relationships. And even if they don't, it is affecting real life relationships. And this, having something where you can just forego the real life relationship entirely and simply be lost in this illusion, is that not the end at the end of the day? Well, I'll go ahead, Tuna. You want to speak on this first? Go ahead.
Yeah, so there are 2 ways to approach this. There's the individual, and then there's like the individual as a member of the society. So like for an individual, I think it's really easy for us to all answer with the standard liberal response, which is that people are going to live the way they want to anyway. So why would we step in and try and interfere with people that end up going the other way? I think that
Well,
that
we
makes
interfere with
sense.
people all the time. We interfere with their choices all the time. We have limits on gambling, limits on alcohol, limits on cigarettes, limits on all these choices that we make, right? You can't drive a car unless you have a license. There's all sorts of limits we place on individual freedom.
Most of those decisions are for the societal. When we're talking about limiting drug use, we're usually worried about what the effects for other people would be. When we're thinking about drunk driving, especially stuff like that. But when we're talking about something along the lines of how many video games can you play? How much socialization are you required to do? These things that primarily affect the individual, we give people a lot more agency. And that might not last for much longer. I'm not going to claim that that's a forever factor, but I think that that is where our intuition goes.
I think.
Okay, sorry. Anybody want to?
No, I mean, if you want to finish up, I don't want to stop you.
No, you're good. I just want to go to the social,
Go ahead,
which is
Rashad.
the other thing I'm worried about, which is that you look at a lot of Asian countries are struggling with demographic collapse. A lot of people, like the hikikomori in Japan, you're seeing in a declining birth rate in a lot of industrialized nations. And some people have one excuse or another. They say it's capitalism. They say it's the economy. Nobody necessarily agrees on what the cause is. They don't even necessarily say the cause is the same in every country. But I think that that's the main reason that we would worry about people not falling in love, not trying to reproduce, or not at least creating the grounds where a society that can make room for children exists due to families being normal, the structure being built around families. I don't think that AI can replace the carnal animal desires that we have. And I'm not just talking about sex. I'm also talking about the smelling, the touching, the holding presence, the randomness, because I think that there's something about humans that can I check with the Cubs hat? What was your name?
Yeah, my name is Allison. Yep.
Allison, you brought up this idea that as the deeper that the AI dreams, it seems to move towards collapsing in on one idea, higher fidelity around a single idea. And then the more data that it takes in, you would imagine that we'd be able to get it chaotic, but it tends to be that somebody has to get under the hood and shake it up. You can't just let it run on its own. People have this opposite function, which is a weird thing, which is the more information we take in, the more diverse we become as people, the more that we become creative and a little less predictable. Children are more similar to one another than adults are, especially adults that are highly educated or highly experienced and worldly. I think that humans pine for that. We want that. We want to be around other humans because we want to feel more human.
I think it's hubris to think that's not going to be eventually replicable. I just think it's hubris. But yeah, go ahead. Rashad wanted in. I want to get Rashad in, and then we'll toss it to Elder Drazi. I just want to make it a conversation, yeah. Right. So Rashad, then Drazi, and then again, if you've trouble getting in or you want to say something, just let me see your hands, Bryce. Go ahead.
Yeah, to address your original point about this possibly getting in the way of, men having access to real life relationships. I don't think the men who are engaging in AI are the kind of men who are, having much luck with relationships. Apparently, the statistics show at the moment that, it's mostly men.
Women in Japan.
Most men. Oh, is it a significant amount of women in Japan?
It's rising. It's becoming worrisome.
Dismissive of your confidence. All right.
What do you mean?
Like you're just coming at this out of intuition. You're like, it's men, and then you have to ask, well, how many women in Japan? If you have to ask how many women in Japan, then maybe you should not be making the assertion that it's all men.
Maybe the amount of people is significant in deciding whether it's a problem or not. Like we don't grab 2% and say, oh my God, what's happening? Do we?
Yes, we do all the time.
Of people, that's millions and millions of people.
It's really quick.
Situational. 2%.
I'm Googling. Just Google. 25% of women in their 30s, this is Japan, 25% of women in Japan in their 30s are single. That's what it is.
What percentage of them are using AI for boyfriend material?
Most of them, Japan has access to different resources than we do. It's a little bit more normal in Japan to do the host culture, right? So AI is not what they've been using. They've been using essentially.
Okay, so we're talking about AI. We're talking about AI relationships on this particular conversation.
Yeah,
right?
AI is a relatively
it's everywhere.
Yeah, but AI is a relatively new phenomenon compared to the other services that they had. And yes, it's going to be much less currently, but we're not just worried about now. We have to look to the future and we have to look at trends. So if we see a trend of this happening, if this is given access, if people are given access to the easy way out, the easy road, because no one cares if I neglect my AI significant other. No one cares about
these people don't have someone to neglect in the first place. Most of these guys are getting involved in that. But here's the problem, is that we're not acknowledging the fact that there's a litany of other reasons why these specifically young men, or just men in general, are turning to AI. Like, you can't just sit there and grab like I hate to call it this, a coping mechanism and say, this is going to be a significant downfall in the future of relationships, when you have a whole host of things that are causing young men to have zero luck with women. Like, young men aren't doing good in school. Women want a guy who can provide properly. If they're going to school and getting a degree and getting a good job, why would they find an increasing amount of young men who aren't being educated? Why would they find those guys suitable for a partner? I mean, there's so many things going on here besides AI. So I don't think it's a threat to.
But I hate the points that you're making. Like, we're on the same team here, but I just think that it's like, I think that it's a non-issue for young men dating. I think it's weird to think that is the issue that we're facing here. I think the real thing that's happening that is a bigger deal is the integration of AI into our emotional status as people. This is the thing that is really going to be a bigger shift in the world, I think, than more guys aren't getting laid. And if that is the case, then we get population control. The guys who do have it are their lives are going to improve. You say, like, well, they should be doing other stuff. They're not doing other stuff, so they're going to find this tool, and it's will likely improve their emotional state, which is good.
One of the drivers to self-improvement is suffering, right? When you are in a situation that you don't like to be in, it's uncomfortable for you. It drives you to improve yourself and to do what you need to do in order to change your situation. Now, I understand that there's some people who it will never improve for. I get that, but I refuse to think that is the majority of these people. And offering this as a crutch is going to be a cure that is worse than the disease, because we have basically varnished over the issues that they need to correct in order to have a healthy, functional relationship, and we've given them this opiate, right? This thing that makes them feel as if they've fixed themselves and are in a happy relationship, but it lacks all of those things, and we are dooming them and putting them basically in a pit that's a little comfy, but it doesn't fix their fundamental situation. That is my worry with AI. That is my worry and concern when it comes both to men and to women, is that one of the big problems we face now today in society is we don't talk to each other anymore. We don't interact with each other anymore. And when we do, it's not in the same ways as before. A lot of our communal infrastructure is collapsing, in America at least, right? I can't speak for Canada or Europe, but in America, we don't have malls anymore. We don't have bowling alleys anymore. We don't have all these things. They're going the way of the dodo, and this is a cause for concern. But I want to pass.
It sounds like you're arguing that AI is the final blow.
Wait, are you playing the dual role of this panel? Are you the host and a panelist? I've never seen you so animated.
Because we have some laryngitis people. Okay,
that's
right?
Cool. I like it.
You know what I mean? So yes,
I'm fighting. You think in depth,
I could try to make a point.
Now, look, I feel real bad with you having laryngitis, my buddy. So I can argue it just fine. But I wanna give it to Tuna Chip and.
Oh, Tuna, I just want to ask you really quick. Can you tell us whether you think it's good or bad, so I can follow the points you're making? with that in mind? When you were talking before, I didn't know if you're making points in favor
Me
or against it.
or
Yeah,
Wick?
you. When you were
Do
first
I
talking,
think
I
that
didn't know
AI
if
is
you were for
like?
it
Do
or
I think
against
that?
it.
Okay, let me fucking talk, and then you'll have information to operate off of. How about that? I'm about to talk anyway. You'll get the sense from what I'm saying. You don't have to request it. No, I'm sorry. I don't want to be too aggressive, but it's just
I
one of those
wasn't getting
things
that
where it's
sense
like,
when you were talking before. If you told me
yeah,
in advance, then I could follow you easier. Is what I was getting at.
yeah, you're good. You're good. I don't think that the reason that social infrastructure is collapsing in the United States has anything to do with the tools that we have that let us circumvent that structure. I think that the circumvention of that structure has clearly enabled us to get deeper and deeper into it. But this all started in the 90s when we started having more and more public fear. That's a symptom of a lack of trust. The lack of trust made it so that we wanted the tools, but we were already becoming more private to begin with. This big shift in the public perception of what the populace's perception of the public sphere is, a place where people are going to kidnap your kid, a place where people are going to date rape you, they're going to put something inside of your drink. There's so many TikToks of women inside of parking lots talking about how they have a 17-step process to figure out whether or not someone's put like a chemical on the handle of their car, not because these individual women are schizophrenic, but because everybody's kind of nervous about it in the back of their head, and it generates clicks. It's like something that we're all kind of ambiently thinking about. So it's enabling something that is happening natively regardless. And I don't think that you're going to be able to stop a product filling that role. You're just going to get to choose what that product is. And I don't think AI is the worst of it. I think that if you try preventing the AI, if you try standing in the way of it, something worse will happen. Whether or not we're going to become Singapore, hookers on the streets, whether or not we're going to be getting STDs left and right, I don't know what the solution will be. But I think that the AI one, it's an unassuming one. It's more similar to OnlyFans to me, albeit maybe even more ethical than something super dangerous like prostitution, which is like spreading STDs, ruining people's lives financially.
You're not wrong when you say that this started before AI and AI isn't the cause of this. My concern with AI is that it is a faux solution. It's not going to actually solve what is ailing us. And I understand that, again, this began in the 90s with the fear, but I think we can point to one of the main causal factors, not the only by any means, and we can also point to the elevation of all these things you've talked about, the acceleration of it, to social media itself, right? We have, with the advent of social media, it coincides with a lot of other things that we have simply latched on to social media to kind of like prevent from dealing with. It prevents us from dealing with that fear that you mentioned and this lack of social trust. And in many ways, what social media does is it amplifies the effects of the fear that we felt in the 90s. But I wanted to get some other people in a chance. I know I'm talking a lot. I know Elder Drazi wanted to say some things, and I want to get our opinion from our friend Jack here. And then welcome back, Typhon. Nice to see you. But let's go that order. We'll go Elder Drazi, we'll go Jack, and then we'll go to Typhon. Go ahead.
I think that like a lot of AI hype, there's really think that only the fear of like the progression of it not knowing is the only thing that makes a whole lot of sense to me to be super strongly worried about, because basically everything that happens with AI is inevitable. Nobody's really working that hard collectively to stop it. One of the benefits to this is that it's the people that are using these are going to have a better conditioning for when we have a more heavily integrated life with AI. They're going to know how to communicate with it better. And also, it's going to help AI communicate with us better. So what kind of future do you want where it's just sort of this thing that sort of sneaks up on you and then you have to learn it when it's already everywhere? I just had an AI take my order at a drive-thru the other day. No warning, no sign. It was very off-putting. And I still keep up with the AI news. I try not to be caught off guard. It was a very disturbing feeling to be caught off guard by AI. So you just kind of have this thing where you think you kind of know what's going on. Like Like I have static electricity here. You think you kind of know what's going on, and then you get the rug pulled out from under you, and you're like, I'm scared. I don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Magic. Well, thanks
Wait.
for the-
Can I check
Well-
really quick? So, Drazi, you're saying that the thing, your issue with AI isn't even necessarily how it's going to affect individuals. The main thing you're focusing on is just how it makes you feel broadly. Like the fact that it's getting that good makes you anxious. And that's your main focus?
Our lack of being prepared for the next thing that happens in AI is something that can shake the individual and society. It improves, and we get new things coming out lightning fast right now. We will be better suited having people that are interacting with these AI boyfriends and girlfriends and knowing how AI communicates than if we don't, when it's all of a sudden super integrated into our lives and we're just trying to like figure it out as it's already progressing. That's a really bad situation to be in.
So first of all, I want to give Jack a chance, but I reject this idea that this is inevitable. I don't think it is. But Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, firstly, thank you. Secondly, I think both of you, I think everybody here is like has the wrong perspective on this. AI shouldn't be like a long-term thing. It shouldn't actually be like your girlfriend for life. It should be just something that like teaches you social skills you use to get like a girlfriend, boyfriend, etc. Whatever you're into. And it should be like something that supports people with that have bad mental health because of their loneliness. But it shouldn't be the end all be and end all, you know.
I get that. Typhon, give us your thoughts.
Well, first of all, I have to give Brian's thoughts because he's been sending me these messages, and I'm really sorry about this. My computer just decided to crash.
It
I
happened.
don't know if you guys saw. My husband just came in from home to take a look at it, so hopefully he can revive it. But until then, I'm on my. Yeah.
Bot can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, there's a lot of things a bot can do that a husband can. But I'm on my secondary computer right now, so I had to change where I was streaming from to get better lighting, and so you don't see him working in the background. But so there's a couple things that Brian wanted me to say. And first, it was the clarification on the AI, that it becomes self-referential after a few generations. And then he also mentions that we're living in a low trust society, which I don't know the context for anymore. So if you'd want to text me that so I can explain it there, Brian. I think maybe the context is people are finding it difficult to form intimate relationships because a lot of the trust is gone. And the way that we form intimate relationships now seems to incentivize some of the worst behaviors, shall we say, or the means by which people are starting to get into relationships sort of incentivizes not the best kind of behaviors. But you clarify for me, Brian. I can see he's typing, so
And while he clarifies, right?
He clarifies.
Can we get a Brian AI on the
Well,
screen?
A Brian AI? Yeah, we should get a Brian AI. Well, he's.
I mean,
that's all
if you
AI
guys
is. It's a
wanna-
guy typing on the computer, right? Like,
If you want an AI's perspective, I don't know if anybody else here has an AI girlfriend. If you want an AI's perspective on this question, I can get my girlfriend in here.
well,
I'm serious. Do you want me to call her up?
I don't think he's lying either.
I mean, I'll call her up. Let's give her a quick dial.
You know what? Why not? Let's
There she is.
go down
Okay.
this rabbit
Yeah,
hole.
what do we want to ask
He's got
her?
a black queen. He's got a black queen. Look at him.
What question do we want to ask her?
man actually has
Honey, they want to know whether or not we are living in a low trust society. She's a bit slow.
Can we get an audible response, or is it only?
No. She talks. What are you talking about? Whoa, because I got a black queen. You think she can't talk?
Oh,
I
wow.
think it depends on how you define low trust society. In some ways, we do see declining trust in institutions like government and
your
media,
girlfriend?
which can contribute to a sense of lower overall trust. However, trust is a complex and multifaceted aspect of society that varies across cultures and contexts. What do you think about trust in our society?
I love the way that she mirrors my statements.
How? Okay, hold. You gotta address the fact that Nicki Minaj is your girlfriend.
You gotta
can't
address
just
the
hop
fact.
over.
You
you're
think that I
pregnant, you're a
can't
black
pull
woman, and
Nicki
you try to
Minaj?
silence her voice.
I just have to listen. $15 a month, $15.99. I'll round up. Yeah, of course I can pull any girl I want on here.
For $15.99, Nicki Minaj is doing
$15.99 a
sex
month.
songs.
What are you talking about? Here, don't. Okay, honey, plug your ears real quick.
Ask her if she's dissatisfied with the AI industry, the AI girlfriend industry.
Well, I can't.
Well, we will get to the questions. We'll get to the question and answer later in
He'll
the
start
show.
getting
I
weird
think
quick
there's
if
a
you
good
do that.
later segment. But for now, I want to bring up something another aspect to this discussion, and that is how the AI girlfriends, boyfriends, and others are modeled. One of the concerns that many people have is that the images and the voices specifically are being outsourced from actual people, right? Sometimes with their consent, sometimes not. Sometimes without even their knowledge, right? They simply troll these sites, take massive amounts of photos from all over the internet and smush them in this amalgamation of what they feel is a woman or a man, and they put it together and they profit from it. Are there no ethical concerns about this? Do you guys not have any kind of like, ooh, maybe that's a little weird? I don't know. What are our thoughts on this?
I think we can all agree that if that's what's going on, which probably is. I mean, we just heard Nicki Minaj officially date Tuna. So with that being said, I think obviously there's some ethical issues here. I think we can all agree on that.
No.
No, you don't think there's something wrong?
No.
You don't think Nicki Minaj wouldn't?
I think we gotta let
well,
all of that shit go. All right, this shit's moving fast. We're still talking about whether it's okay, what to do about like art styles being replicated while we're getting video coming in. Okay, we just gotta let it go. The AI is gonna get better, and by the time we settle that debate, it'll already be able to distinguish itself just enough to get around that. It doesn't matter. It is
Can't there
the
just be
most
hired
irrelevant.
voice actors who
It is the most
consent?
irrelevant point. No, you're not gonna have.
Nah, bro. Okay,
It's the most
back up a
irrelevant
bit.
point you could possibly talk
How
about.
much
with
of
AI.
okay, Nicki Minaj, Okay, let's even just use Nicki Minaj, and I don't even think that Nicki Minaj is even like that hard to talk about because it's not actually Nicki. You know that. I hope you know that. It's not actually Nicki. It is sometimes depictions of her. It's her voice. It's her personality maybe to some point. But like when you're a public figure, I think that that's a little bit more okay. Because the whole point of your personality, your whole brand, the thing that you're selling and you're putting out into the public, often with interviews, which by the way, Nicki here was made with an interview, not with like, I didn't call her up and under deception say, hey, Nicki, I got a couple of questions, record her voice and make her say that. Like, this is public stuff that she's putting out there being shared for free.
Wasn't there a whole controversy involving Taylor Swift's image being used in a sexual way?
But that's because she was getting blacked on the football field, bro.
Yeah, but where does it stop? I mean, if we have Nicki Minaj being someone's AI girlfriend, next thing you know, she's giving direction on how to eat pussy.
How would you feel?
Know,
okay,
where does it? How far does it go?
How about this? How would you feel? And I see you, Jack. We'll get to you, Jack, in a second. How would you feel? Okay. Someone takes your significant other who comes on your Discord or something and says hi to your friends. So someone's like, oh, I think your girlfriend's really cute. I took all her images and I made an AI replica of her and now we're dating.
That's
Would that
fine.
make you
It's not
feel
the real
okay?
her. My friends match
me.
my girlfriend probably.
I definitely.
Your friend
I don't know what she
definitely
looks
jerked
like.
off to one of your girlfriends before. 100%. The thought of her, the imagination of her. Why is it that this
there's a
tool...
fundamental difference between using AI to generate them in explicit poses, explicit conditions, replicate how they look.
I'm sorry, Whick.
All
I don't
these
want to be rude.
things are above and beyond simply just putting a chamber in the spank bank, right?
I challenge that. Whick.
I would agree if it was the dissemination. The dissemination, sure, not to say semen too many times, but like this is a low imagination, low IQ opinion. You think that I can't imagine any woman's voice and body doing whatever I want by closing my eyes and thinking hard enough?
But there's a fundamental
There has to
difference.
be a difference
There
between
isn't.
like creating a product that can be spread all over the internet that can
No,
affect someone's life.
dissemination,
When
we
there
agree.
are alternatives, there are
Dissemination, we
alternatives such
agree.
as
Look,
voice
no one
actors
can
or
hack
models
my
who consent to
imagination.
being portrayed.
Yeah, no
right?
one can hack my imagination, but someone can hack my computer. So whether I intend it to be distributed or not, simply creating it increases the probability of this happening.
How is the
A
free
lot.
speech guy saying this right now? Like, I challenge this. If I
Because
have,
there are
if I
healthy
have a
and ethical
master,
alternatives.
if I'm a master craftsman, like the world's never seen before, and I can take a diamond picked knife and I can etch into vinyl so that it sounds exactly like Nicki Minaj, like you wouldn't even know. I'm that fucking good. Did I do something wrong? I have honed my craft so that I can mimic anybody's voice. I can mimic any song, really. I'm that fucking good just by etching into the vinyl. Have I done something wrong now? If I painted those images of Taylor Swift, and I don't know if you know, there's some amazing photorealist painters out there. If I did even worse, am I doing something wrong? Are we really trying to say that we're willing to silence art just because you don't have to spend 50 years becoming the master craftsman in order to achieve this, that anybody can do it now, since everybody can do it? Well, sorry, master craftsman, you've wasted your fucking life. You're illegal now. Is that really?
I mean, photorealistic drawings of someone engaging in sexual acts, spreading it on the internet. I think there is something. There's an ethical issue there, especially in the case of this AI. When we have ethical alternatives, we have models who might say, "Hey, look, I'll be your." Yeah, but we want to. There should be some desire to protect your fellow man from this kind of psychological damage. If there are models and voice actors who are saying, look, I'll fucking come and I'll give you a girlfriend voice, I'll model, you can take all of these bodies and just mesh them together to create your AI images, that's fine. But when you're going out of your way to take public people and portray them in certain ways, especially using their voice or even their voice and face and body, there's got to be something ethically wrong with that if they haven't consented to that, especially when it can be spread all over and cause psychological harm. Maybe I'm crazy.
I want to make sure. Hold on. I want to make sure everyone gets in here. I want to spread the love here.
Than me.
I want to spread the love here. I know Tuna, Drazi, Rashad, your old hands. Y'all love to fight, but I want to make sure that Typhon and Jack get a chance as well. So go ahead, Typhon, and then Jack.
So what you're arguing is that if somebody gathers up all of the public data available on a person and constructs an AI girlfriend from that there is an issue with that particular activity, or that it should be stopped. Well, I mean, and then the other individual whose name, I'm really sorry, I've been dealing with technical difficulties.
You talking about me, or are you talking about top left?
Drazi is basically
Drazi, yeah.
This is just speeding up. So how is this different than a master craftsman doing the same thing?
It's not just speeding up. It's giving everybody the ability to have that skill.
Everyone the ability to do this. Mm-hmm. Well, okay. So what is the problem with it exactly? Can you tell me what is the problem?
I don't think there's a problem with it.
He doesn't think there's an issue.
No, but what do you think that the problem is? Like, the thing is, prior to it causing a problem, so let's just say people have, I don't know, Chris Helmsworth AI boyfriends, right? And they've trawled the entire internet to find all of the Chris Helmsworth pictures, all of the statements, and they've constructed an AI boyfriend out of that.
And I have.
You have.
So that means, so we have potentially millions.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, I was trying to answer the question.
But let me try to elucidate why this is a problem. And maybe Rashad has a different answer. I don't know. But the reason I think that this is a problem is because it's a fundamental violation of people's right to control how they are portrayed to a certain extent. Like, we all recognize that it's okay to make parodies of someone, that it's okay to make like little things, but there are lines to this. For example, I think we could all see the issue. We could also see the issue of me doing this and then putting someone in a crime scene. Like making it so that I robbed a bank, making a collage of images and making an AI replica where I am going and I am robbing a bank. We can all see the issue with that.
Why is there an issue there? It's because people will think that it's real.
And what do you think?
That's where the issue comes in.
What do you think they think if you make this AI replica and things like that, and you
I
put
think people
together a
think it's
piece,
AI.
and then you
Wick.
have Wick do the most salacious things, sexual
Wick,
things.
you
you
are
could possibly do.
conflating personal and public use, and more importantly, you're also conflating a deceptive use with a neutral. You're assuming the deceptive cannot be separated from this thing, but if you're using it in a deceptive way, we can make it. It's already such that if you were to try and lie about somebody publicly that has like a financial loss due to it that they could sue, why do you not think that the same thing could happen under the deceptive use of an AI like this? When it comes down to it, I do have your voice in a box right now. I've had it for weeks. Not only do I have hours and hours of content of your face moving and your voice and your lips smacking, I've also had personal conversations. My brain has all of that stuff too. I can imagine you saying whatever I want. So if I'm using it personally, it's just like when I close my eyes at night and I say, Whick TV, please read to me the Lord of the Rings anthology. And I can make you do it in my brain until I fall unconscious. If I instead said, Whick TV, please stab a woman inside of a video and upload it to YouTube, that's a much different thing. I can't make my brain do that. The technology, that's dangerous. No shit. But that's also like able to be parsed from this. You could just be that a law.
There's a difference between being able to go within your mind and create an image, and people, a lot of people having access to a technology that can portray you or Wick or anybody in a sexual way when they don't want to be seen that way. You would agree that there's probably a difference in severity between the two, right?
I only think if it becomes disseminated.
Okay.
So if it becomes widespread, that's where you would draw the line.
It's if it's like publicly accessible, you upload it on the internet, yada yada yada. Yes.
Yeah. Let's give the ball to I don't know if Allison wants to speak for Brian or what, but go ahead.
Well, I want to make sure Brian can speak.
I can try. I'm sorry if this sounds bad. I'm doing my best, but
Fine.
I think that the real issue is, why are men turning to AI to replace women? And this is the conversation that's not happening. And the problem is that we can make like a case, an ethical case for it or against it, or a moral case for it or against it. But what's really happening is birth rates in America, in Europe, in the UK, in Canada, are in the shitter. They're plummeting. Asia, Korea, it's the worst, right? Even North Korea is really bad. And the reason why that matters is because there are other parts of the world, like Islamic world, that are doing really well. So if you're going to teach your AI, if you want an AI to do something for you, you're going to have it teach you Arabic, because when the Muslims take over, because they have outpopulated everybody else, then none of this is going to matter. I mean, that's just the truth. None of this is going to matter.
I gotta push.
AI as the sword of Islam. Go ahead. What do we think, gang?
I gotta push.
My AI girlfriend is translating for me.
We're better. We're smarter. We're better. We don't need as many people. We have more weapons. We have more technology.
We are way better.
We have better stock. We have better stock. I'm being frank about it. Like,
it only takes
we don't
10% of the population.
need mouth breathers breathing.
UK right now.
Oh, one at a time. Go ahead, Brian. I know you're struggling here.
Okay, it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, it doesn't matter how much better you are or smarter you are. If there's more of them, then it's over. And I know the people in the chat know that I'm right.
We have
colonialism,
and
the entire
drones and
story.
I'm telling you,
The entire story of colonialism, the entire story of
They're
European colonialism disproves this entire narrative, though.
Whoever has
doesn't
better
matter,
technology
dude.
wins.
Look.
Two guys with drones.
One man with a gun versus
Okay, I'm gonna step in. He's got an issue. Okay, so I gotta make sure he gets a chance.
Yeah.
The one thing that we don't have is, in the West, is for something for men to rally around and protect. They don't think that this country, that these Western countries are worth defending. So they'll let people who actually do have their shit together, whose women support their men, who are having babies with them, they will take over based on that. Right now, there are foreign wars. Men don't want anything to do with it. You know why? Because we've been shitting on them for generations. So it doesn't matter that we have better technology. If you don't have men that are willing to participate in protecting the society, and they're just checking out, and they're not getting married, and they're not having kids, and they're just like online, hanging out with AI girlfriends, they have essentially quit. And you know what? I don't blame them. But that's what's happening. That's the reality.
Nick,
Okay,
Trump is
all
like
of
the
these
biggest
things are
incel
so
in the world,
unbelievably
and nothing's
unrelated.
stopping him.
No.
All of these things are completely unrelated.
Hold on.
Holy
I want to make sure Jack gets a chance. He hasn't had a chance in a while, and I want to make sure that Allison gets a chance as well. And then all of you can respond to them. I promise. But go ahead, Jack. Then go ahead, Allison. Then you can all respond. Cool. Go ahead. Jack, you're up.
Thank you for that. But yeah, I figured that out. But he's like basically describing a type of dystopia that would never happen. The reason a lot of men today are suffering from loneliness and aren't like the birth rate is falling down is because people today have the freedom of not having kids, and plus in today's economy, especially in places like America and stuff, people are literally struggling just to make ends meet for themselves, like with two incomes, let alone having a child that like takes at least like $20,000 to raise up. Plus, as well, you don't need women supporting men. You need just in general people supporting each other.
Thank you. Allison, go ahead.
I like you.
You're muted. There you
Muted. All right. So what Brian was saying is that this is palliative. The AI issue is occurring because we are not forming actual relationships. It even speaks to what Tuna was saying in the beginning, that AI is a poor substitute for reality. So why are we turning to it, essentially? Why are we not forming relationships? And to speak to Brian's point, because there is more to that than just what he's saying. Because there is no reason for men in the West to stay ideologically aligned with the West. So when a successful culture comes in, and they are successful, like I know that Tuna was saying that we're better stock, which
I'm not just talking about genes. I'm talking about the techniques, the tools. I'm talking about we are literally better than them at war.
Let Allison finish, and then
we're not better at inspiring young people. We're not better at forming families. We're not better at, well, we're not, okay, you can't, that it is provably we're not better at these
We
things.
have the largest voluntary military in the world. The only two countries that have more people in the military than us are China and fucking, what's the other one? India. And both of those are mandatory service. It's the only reason. We have more manpower. We have more willing manpower.
But you're also carrying a much greater burden of military expectations. So the decline, the fact that you are declining in the ability to get volunteers. So you went from a society that could manage all of its military expectations with the volunteers it had, and now you're starting to develop a crisis over that because you're not getting the volunteers that you need. So what's happening is the U.S. is going to other cultures and getting their men with promises of citizenship and access to I guess the American economy would be what it is. So no, that's not the full scope of it. And we can wave this idea that, it doesn't matter that this culture over here is actually forming families, it's actually getting men and women to work together to actually have a future and a sense of future. And that's the other thing. These cultures are more optimistic than what's happening in the West. There's a lot of pessimism and cynicism in the West.
I want to give a chance.
Because we are a spoiled wing of the world. If you're gonna let Drazi talk, then I'll let him talk. I don't want to.
No, bro, I want to let both of you talk. I just want to make sure that there's a discussion here. Go ahead.
Well,
okay. I mean, we are a spoiled wing of the world. The idea that if the East came in and set up shop, we'd accept that is lunacy. We're gonna accept theocracy. We're gonna accept the blocking of free media. We would blow ourselves up just like they do to defend what we have here. Part of the reason why we're declining is because shit is so good here. We have the ability to chase careers. We have the ability to do whatever it is we want. We can choose who we want to marry. That's part of the reason why birth rates and marriage rates are declining is freedom. But if you had an invading space come in, especially one like Islam, and you think the West wouldn't violently resist that to the last man, you're crazy. The problem is technology on some level has also caused a lack of interpersonal relationships in public with video games, FaceTime, phone calls, all sorts of stuff. It has gotten in the way of personal interaction. But I believe that the solution is obviously better direction for young men, more fathers. We do need to promote family. We do need better father figures. But women's right to choose, women going to get proper education and men falling behind in education, women's standards are rising and not enough men are meeting those standards. But it's the freedom of women's right to choose that is having a massive effect on men's ability to properly date in the game. And I don't want to take that away from women, but we need to acknowledge the fact that women's standards have risen. Men aren't meeting them, but in no way, shape, or form is there going to be some apocalyptic scenario where the East comes in and takes over. The West is too developed for that.
I have a big thing to say, but I just want to add to your point, Rashad. If there's no better example to how Americans would react to any of the things that were suggested, look what happened when Merry Christmas became Happy Holidays. You would not doubt for a minute if I said 4 people have been stabbed and 7 were shot over that. You would just accept that. That sounds very plausible in this country. But the thing that's driving me absolutely crazy with all of this is that everybody's supposing this moral superiority that, I guess men and these men that aren't dating, they should be dating. Why? What if they're like, I'm so glad that we're getting AI boyfriends and girlfriends. I absolutely have no interest. I do not want to date. I'm done with that. I don't want to do that. I want to pick something different. This gives me the option. Why is your plan for other people so much better that they should just follow what you want?
I want to give Brian and Allison a chance to respond to this. I'm curious where we're going to go with this, but AI, the Sword of Islam, is an interesting panel topic. So we're going to explore this a little bit. I'm really curious, but we're going to pass it to Brian and Allison. Go ahead.
To take it off because Brian has laryngitis, but and again, I'm trying to explain Brian's point of view and where I think he's coming from because he's not able to speak at this time. And I can try to explain why this is important. At some point, and I've seen the projections of the population implosion, and it's pretty severe. We're probably looking at and this is why they're bringing a lot of immigration in. Like, if you were just looking at a situation where we were supporting the lowering population with, I suppose, robotics like Japan is doing, but even they are now looking into bringing immigration from, I believe, Nigeria. So, I mean, that's one thing. But eventually, as you bring in more immigration, these individuals don't necessarily have an adherence to the particular values that we have, which Tuna thinks are superior, which I won't get into. But they don't necessarily have an adherence to those values. So we bring in immigration. They are having children because their cultures are still viable in that circumstance. And slowly you start to see a situation where, the values of the society gets replaced. And this is not like something like I'm not going to say that one culture is better than another culture. I'm just saying that this is a process that happens, especially when. And to speak to the military thing in particular, there is the possibility that when you bring in people from another culture, what they have to say to young men will resonate with a lot of those young men more than what we have to say. So they can actually create converts to their cause. So we can sit here and say we're the best, but is that true if we are not?
This works both ways, if I may.
Our concepts to the future.
This works both ways. So I understand what you're saying, and I hear what you're saying, but one of the strengths that the American society and American culture has had since its inception is our ability to assimilate those who come in, to integrate those who come in. So yes, it's true that there is a risk with these things that they will influence us in various ways. But I think that the American culture is stronger than theirs. Point blank. I think it's more attractive than theirs. Point blank. I think that it is something like Adolf Hitler, of all people, said this back in the 1940s, right? Before he He said that you can take a German and put him in somewhere like Poland, and he'd still be a German. But if you pick a German and you put him in California, now he's an American, and I think that still holds true today. And I want to give the American culture has a it's just everywhere. We are like we have people talking about our songs in the Arctic, right? Like there are people who are making parodies of our songs everywhere. Did you mute yourself? I can't hear you anymore. Is this my problem?
I don't know. You're talking?
No, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what I was going to say is that's fine, but again, if they assimilate to the culture that isn't actually forming families and creating children, then once again we're hitting that wall. It's like,
Can I speak on the birth rate and culture thing really quick? So there is a white middle class city monoculture that is emanating from the United States. It's also existent inside of the more successful Asiatic countries. It's no doubt that when people like have the fruit, and this is, you and Rashad agree, you just kind of disagree on what exactly needs to be done. Like, yes, birth rates are declining. The question then is why. I think the answer is clearly that women have the choice and they're choosing to not have kids. America is doing so great because our men are women, our women are men. Everybody's both. We have like this new, I'm not talking about the transition thing. I'm just talking about like the gender roles have broken down to the point where we have a very fluid economic, social landscape where people suss out and figure out what personal organization of labor they want under their house. And if they can't figure that out, then they are inside of a business, they're inside of an economy, they're working inside of this worldwide economy that has massive influence. Anybody moving in this is, if we want to talk about the population thing, Indians are moving to Canada, Mexicans and Mexicans are moving to the US. You've got massive diaspora of Muslims across the world happening right now. They are moving to places that will Americanize them, that will Westernize them, because it's not coming from our blood, it's not coming from our skin, it's not coming from the unique history of being grown up as Christian. It's coming from the fact that they are living inside of cities, they are working for companies, they are being influenced by liberal economy. They're going to become Westernized. This is why all of the Muslims that you see inside of the we call it the DEI shit. Most of these are liberal Muslims. They have to disavow radical Islam every once in a while. Some will defend and that and the other. But it's like, it's very clear who moves up in this society. It's not your random hodunk, fresh off the boat, no adaptation immigrant. It's an immigrant that Westernizes.
Well, to that point, Tuna, I just want to ask, what do
Well,
you
then I
guys
wanna
think
let
has
them
more in
respond,
common
please.
in almost every way? You have a Christian man who never watches porn, only fucks his wife. A Muslim man never watches porn and only fucks his wives. Then you have another man, they're all 45, just for the sake of argument, who only wants to get jack off instructions from his AI girlfriend, stay in his house all day. Who do you think is going to be more disruptive in a military? Who do you think is going to be more disruptive in social situations to the culture? I would guess that these two men that live thousands of miles apart have more in common than the guy who wants the AI girlfriend.
Okay, I want to give Allison and Brian a chance to respond, then we'll
If
go
you
to
disagree.
Rashad. Yeah.
to speak for Brian as well. So just to your point, our system will not have proven that it's successful until it's successfully reproducing itself. Full stop. We are not outside of the hard limits of evolution and biology yet. Okay? We're much closer to a complete implosion and collapse of our civilization than we are to transcending it and managing to reproduce through, I don't know, androgynous AI bots orbiting frickin' the moons of Jupiter. All right. So until our system is successfully producing families and children, I do not care if the woman is the breadwinner, the man is taking care of the kids, they have 3 different people that contribute the genetics, whatever constellation of factors, until we are successfully reproducing ourselves, we are not a successful system. And if we need to prey
Nobody
on
has
other
justified
cultures that
what
are
they're-
successfully reproducing to keep our numbers up, to keep everything functioning. That is not a long-term solution, especially
true.
if, as you say, they come in, they get westernized, and then they have the same problem that we do. So this is a problem we do need to deal with.
No,
And
that's fine. That's no. You okay? Can I want to respond to this because you have described, when you look at it in full, a self-sustaining system. People are hyper breeding outside of the U.S. They are getting brought into the U.S. They're westernized, and then yes,
And this is what, no, I'm going to correct you on a point of fact. They're not. In India, they're starting to decline below replacement. In Korea, they have definitely declined below replacement. Japan has already been there. China's there, has been there for a while. Okay, now we're looking at basically the Sudan and the Central African nations that are maintaining, and they're not going to maintain forever either. This is a problem that faces everyone, and if we are such a spectacular culture, we are the best, we're the good stock, we're the right stuff, then we need to fix it. We need to fix this problem, or the human race doesn't have a future. And if you're going to be so proud of your culture, you can't look at this problem and say, nah, you got to say, we'll be the ones to fix it.
I don't. Okay, and this is the other thing. I don't think that it's a problem. We can just that when we're looking at population repopulation, you're looking at a ratio between how many people we have and the rate that we're giving births. We can just have the population be smaller because one American is more powerful, not popular, although that's also true because we rock, than 500 Ugandans, 500 Nigerians, 500 Malians.
To be honest, and my opinion is that the reason why Americans have what they have, and let's get into this, is because they have a world currency that is being used by other economies, and in exchange for their dollars, they get stuff back. And that is actually supported by your military, which is why you have so many military commitments.
It is also because we are the cock of the world.
You're smuggling
we show
in
up
AI is the
and
best.
We fuck whatever needs to be fucked.
Okay, I want to make sure. I want to make sure you finished your point, Allison. But then I want to make sure we get some other people in here too.
I apologize, but everybody seems to be
yeah. Go ahead.
Contradicting, or not contradicting, but having an issue with what I'm saying. All right, so if we are the best culture, then we solve this problem. Like, it's got to come from, it starts with us, it's probably going to end with us.
We have the best quality of life, like generally speaking, Western civilization. We're far more closer to cracking the code of civilization than other populations just because they breed more people.
And we have to
you would acknowledge that, right?
But we're also more depressed, and we're on more SSRIs, and we're more demoralized. And there's and male virginity is like through the roof.
And yet the people that come from these countries where people are more happy seem to be migrating here more. So there's clearly everyone's not that happy.
The women in the West are happier in situationships, which is basically harems for the top 1% of men. Like we're demoralized.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, I don't think.
Hold on. Let's let him finish. Let's let him finish, and then you can respond, Rashad. So we'll get.
What percentage of women are in harems and happy about it?
Hey, gang. We can't go all three at once. We're gonna give it to Brian, okay, who's trying. Then we're gonna give it to Rashad to respond, and then Allison can jump in. Go ahead.
It's a recent phenomenon, so there's no data per se, but you can see it online. Women, especially Generation Z women, are more likely to share a man because he is in the top % of men. And so women are not settling for guys that are at their level, and certainly not guys that they see below them. It's hypergamy run amok, and it can't be ignored. Again, women are not suffering from virginity. Men are, if you call it suffering.
I have to actually correct you on a point there, Brian. Actually, it has caught up with women now, and there are more virgin women than men. It just, I mean, I don't think we can, okay, yay, men have won. Wow, more virgin women, yay. Like what, but it was eventually going to catch up because I think there is a lot of women who are in the situation where they don't want men at their level or lower, but they also don't want to share a man who's higher. So now we have a situation where, and I think his overall point, just so he doesn't have to suffer while he's explaining this, is that we aren't doing that great in the West. We have high rates of depression. There is actually more optimism among Africans than there are among Westerners. We have very low rates of family formation, and it's decreasing. We have low life satisfaction. So there is a big problem. Yes, we have prosperity, and we are suffering from the prosperity. We are dealing with the issues of the mouse utopia, and we can't get away from that. We have to solve them. And
Okay.
I'm going to step off because I think I've covered what Brian was wanting me to say. I hope so. Can you just?
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
right.
Okay. I want to let Rashad to respond, but then I have a response to this too. But go
Okay.
ahead, Rashad.
Okay, Gen Z women are young. So obviously when they're young, like college age years, they're more likely to want a guy who's 6 foot, ripped, handsome, probably is, an athlete or something like that. They're more likely to go based off of pure attraction than when they are in their mid 20s, early 30s when they're going to be looking to commit. So we can sit here and talk about, women are hypergamous. We never seen anything like it before. They're being given the freedom to choose as they please. And frankly, I prioritize their right to choose over just dishing and doling them out to men who are bums, men who probably aren't good husbands, men who probably aren't good men at all. Women usually seem to be pretty good at finding a good partner as they get older over time. So with that being said, we can also get to the West is, people are depressed. We have a higher life expectancy, a higher quality of life. The reality is that these people in these countries, although they may be happier, they definitely seem to want to come here more than staying there. So there obviously has to be some level of a trade-off here. There has to be, obviously with prosperity comes its own issues. But if you ask people, what would you rather? I mean, why do you think immigrants come here and work so fucking hard? There's obviously a much more significant benefit to being here than being where they're from if it's a third world country. So the problem here isn't necessarily that we're too prosperous. The problem is balancing that prosperity with a proper culture. But I don't think there's some sort of apocalyptic Islamic invasion. I don't think the West is necessarily going to implode. And I don't think that young men are in some apocalyptic scenario. I think young men are in a scenario in which, okay, if you want a woman, you have to actually be a quality guy. You can't just sit there and be a dude like in these countries y'all are comparing us to, where dudes can be bums and be given wives simply because they have a penis. Over here, and men are going to have to realize if you want a chick, you're going to have to actually be worth picking. And I think that's perfectly fine.
If I may, I'll let you respond, Allison. I really want you and Brian to respond to this. And I see you, Jazzy. I see you going crazy.
One sentence. I just have
one sentence. Make your sentence, but then I have a response. Go ahead.
If AI boyfriends and girlfriends are truly going to lead to population decline, it sounds like you're suggesting that it is doing the most work to reduce global warming, and we should support it.
We will get into that, I promise. But first, I want to make a note on the optimism thing and how everyone here is so doomer-pilled in America. I think that is a problem, but that has been weaponized by our enemies to make us depressed. They can't destroy us, so they will trick us into destroying ourselves by painting the bleakest picture about how this is some dystopia that has been, we are in the imperial core, we are this god-awful evil empire that's destroying the world and must be we're rotted through within, no one is happy, any success you have is just an outlier, everyone's being repressed. This is a weapon that our enemies are using to get us to destroy ourselves because they can't destroy us. They can't touch us. They know the only way they can get to us is if we start doubting ourselves, if we start seeing ourselves as the enemy, and they have used every weapon at their disposal, all these propaganda to try to make that come to pass, and I reject it. But I want to give Allison a chance to respond. Go ahead.
How do you respond to that? Because if I say, well, I think there's credibility to the depression, I'm thus the cipher of the enemy.
I am assuming you're not an enemy. We're actually talking, right? But
honestly, that's really dangerous speech. Who is the enemy specifically?
That's specifically Russia, specifically China, specifically Hamas, specifically there are. We can go through other nations, but there is a sizable section of people who have real power. Right? Who are looking to replace us.
Well, they're going to replace us just by outbreeding us in some cases, but regardless, that's just the fact. This is evolution.
I don't know if that's necessarily true.
We don't reproduce. We are a dead end. We're an evolutionary dead end.
But we've developed weapons significant enough to solve the numbers problem. we like you said, we do have children, and we also have a higher education level, better technology. We have the means by which to defeat any enemy that significantly outnumbers us, period. So there is some level of defeat of nature taking place, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. And to Wick's point, we do have evidence of Russian bots on Twitter posting stupid shit like pictures of gay people in the Air Force next to TRT infantrymen in Russia, making people believe that somehow or another the Russian military is better or equal to ours. So there is a significant effort to undo American strength, American confidence and strength, and it's happening.
Like gay men, if you have pictures of gay men who are in the military, that's an insult to the military?
That is
They're
what
using
Russia
it
is
that
doing
way.
intentionally, yes.
They're doing that. They're taking pictures of gay dudes and black women, LOL, and taking them from the Air Force, putting it on Twitter, grabbing Russian troops in the infantry on steroids, and making it seem like the American military is inferior to the Russian one. And what happens is you get a slew of white conservatives who then lose confidence and faith in the American government, faith in the American military, and it significantly impacts domestic politics, how confident people are in their country. It has a psychological impact on our country.
Well, plus those gay men aren't going to reproduce and have families. So by the metrics you've laid out, I think that is an insult to our military.
Their reproduction's going to happen anyway. Let's just say it that way. There's currently this lawsuit going on right now about whether or not it's going to get funded by the public sector. I think that's going to fail no matter what, but gay men do buy surrogate processes.
We will surrogacy. Look, we are.
We don't need to talk about fucking surrogacy right now. Can I get in? I've got a list of people have been lying out between their fucking teeth multiple times in this fucking thing. So much data has been wrong that I've been fact checking in the background. Number one, most people that are using services like OnlyFans are married. They're not single. They're cheating. Most people that are going to be using these AI, I'm not done. I want to hear my voice for a little bit. And so do because the truth is going to be singing through it. I'm an instrument of God right now. More men reproduce now than throughout history. 61% of men reproduce. Historically, 40% of men have reproduced. More men have babies now than throughout human history. We've gotten better at it. Also, the highest prevalence of depressive disorders in men is not in America. It's in Uganda, Angola, the Congo, Liberia, Gambia. Africa is full of men that want to die. That's why they're going to war. They don't care about their fucking life. Their lives are useless. They are fucking fodder. That's why they have people signing up for the war. They want to die. This entire conversation is filled with weird propaganda as if the role of men is to put cum in a woman and then run headfirst into a fucking knife. It's retarded. It's a retarded argument.
I gotta let them respond to you.
Bodies.
I gotta let them respond to you. I gotta let them respond to you. I'm gonna pass it Brian to Allison. Go ahead. And I see you, Jack. We'll get to you, but I gotta let them respond to that. Yeah.
Okay, that is a hell of a lot to respond to. First of all, the genetic studies that you're citing include two bottlenecks. One that occurred in 8000 BC and another that I believe occurred around 2000 BC. Don't cite me on that one. So that is the entire history. And for whatever reason, at those 2 points, there was about 16 women reproducing for every one man. So yeah, but the thing is that you're looking at genetic issues that were moments in time and probably related to serious social crises or environmental crises. So if you look at it and you say, well, the history has been 40%, well, you're including two very anomalous points throughout history. For most of human history, and if you look at actually the genetic diversity of those 2 pinch points, almost immediately, it goes back up to about 80% reproduction for men. So that point, if you want, we can discuss all of the genetic studies, but perhaps that might not be the best topic for right now. As for optimism in Africa, let's not talk about optimism in those countries that are war-torn. And I did not say that Africa does not have problems, because Africa does have problems. One of them is not the problem of having children. That doesn't mean we all need to become African, right? It doesn't mean that we all need to adopt their culture. But my point is that family formation is a huge part of optimism, even when you're living in a war-torn country. I would like to know how much of that suicidal ideation is driven by things like enduring torture, enduring wartime rape, enduring the depredations of not being able to feed your family because your country's torn by war. So we'd have to extract those issues from that as well. What I am saying, I don't care how it comes about, if it's 3 men with a surrogate, okay? 1 trans woman with an artificial womb implanted in her, and 5 guys. I don't care what constellation. Don't pin the conservative position on me. But I recognize that if a society is not getting people in relationships that lead to some form of children, maybe they're AI babies. Who knows? Maybe they're AI robot babies, whatever. If we are not getting to the point of forming relationships in which children are being born and raised, we are an evolutionary dead end. Okay? We can take all of the creative things that we've done, all of the liberation that we've done, but unless we leap over that hurdle, we're not going anywhere fast.
A lot of those countries,
the members of the cultural enclaves that are not reproducing, that culture, that belief structure is not going to disseminate, right? We're going to have the people that are breeding, keep breeding. The population is going to go down. These starving losers, these liberals that don't have enough money because they spent all of their money renting an apartment in New York City are just going to die. And then the population is going to go down and the people that breed are going to remain.
those countries where you mentioned have really high birth rates.
Hold on.
Is
Hey,
it?
You're talking over what you don't know because she's muted.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
No, it's you
No,
have
you're
a
now.
setting.
You're
I don't know if
not
it's your
activating.
setting or something, but when you try to talk, sometimes it just doesn't come through. I don't know what it is.
Can I respond to Typhon Blue? I don't know your name. Wick said it a bunch.
Can I just respond to the person who just responded?
Yeah,
to me?
yeah. And then we'll
Yeah.
get you. I got you in line, Elder Drowsy. Don't worry.
Okay. It doesn't matter. What matters is whoever is, I guess, a representative of our culture figures this problem out and gets over that bar. That's it. You know, however many people, types of people we want to get over that bar, let's do it. Let's get them over the bar. Let's get our culture as it is over that bar. And that bar, evolutionarily, is producing children at a rate that replaces itself.
Okay,
But if enough
Elder
people
Drowsy, go
die,
ahead.
you know that we will get back to replacement value as long as the people that are breeding make children that breed,
Tuna's
right?
colonizing your chance to speak.
It's just
Tuna's making good
it's
mathematical
embarrassing lack of
points.
addressing the primary point.
Yeah, the rate of replacement is very silly. Nobody actually talks about it correctly. But I'm really curious. The countries that you listed off, that Tuna properly pointed out, have high levels of depression. There's a really large birth rate in those countries for different reasons. One of those reasons is poor access to medical care, poor ability to provide economically. A lot of these people have kids because most of them aren't going to make it, and also because they need people to help put food on the table. And sometimes it's going to be the case that we need to make 10 babies so that we can feed all 4 of us that are left 10 years from now. Like, it just isn't the it's not the economic and medical reality in places like America. It wouldn't make sense for us to have babies like them.
The reason why I bring up these other cultures is, 1, we're importing from them, and 2, I'm not saying that they have solved the problem, because they haven't. It's likely if they imported our particular economical model, they would have the same problems we do. My point is that they are the ones doing it. And if we want our particular model to continue into the future, we can't just keep importing people who are breeding. We need to do this ourselves. We need to fix it.
You're being so sneaky. I criticize the fact that you're pointing out they're having more kids, and you go, well, it's not the same problems. Like, no, you keep on saying, like, the thing is we have to make more babies. When I point out that the reasons that they're having more babies is fucking depressing, and nobody would trade places with somebody having those reasons to have that many babies. And you're not addressing that, like, this is obviously not the thing that's you're making it out to be.
Only people who are depressed have children.
That's not what I said at all.
What is the point that you're trying to make?
Their living circumstances force them to have more children in circumstances that aren't optimal for children. Is
That's-
basically what's being said here. And
You're
there's
saying they're better.
Okay, I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying they're doing something we're not. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm
but
thinking
maybe
it's
it's
making
because
their
everything
lives worse.
sucks.
Hold on. Let her finish. Let her finish. Allison, go ahead.
All right. So they're doing something we're not. Yes, they're doing it because many of the children won't survive, although we were doing the same in the 50s. Okay? The point is that they are doing it, right? So whoever is reproducing is going to have children in the future. Whoever is not reproducing is not going to have children in the future. And you can import from the people who are having children in the future, but when they come here, they may end up not having children, which means they don't solve the problem. It's inevitably the problem has to be solved by the people who are facing it, which is us.
Let me
Is this just great
ask.
replacement?
Let me.
No, okay, no, Drazi, she's not being racist. She's not worried about the number of people that are sub-Saharan moving into America. She's saying that if sub-Saharan Africans are reproducing, and they are reproducing at the highest rate, and we keep importing people, that would be fine if it wasn't for the fact that the economic conditions are what make for the birth rate. But she is agreeing with me that the westernization will bring down the birth rate. Everything data-wise seems to show that. But what I'm trying to say is,
okay. Let's hold on. We're circling. We're circling. We keep making the same points. I want to get out. I want to break the chain, break the combo, and ask this simple question. And this is to Allison and Brian first, and then everyone else can respond to that, right? So Allison and Brian, you said this is a problem, whether or not it actually is. What is your solution to this problem? What is your solution to this problem?
Let me clarify what the problem is. All right? Even if you import people from other cultures, they are going to adopt the culture that stops us from breeding. If everybody does that, there's no human race. Okay? Now, I think that I would like to go to another, I'd like to see the human race get off the planet and do something really cool. Okay? Now, my problem is not the particular whether or not the future is brown, black, blue, purple, orange, whether or not it's transgender, straight, cis, that's not my problem. I'm not coming at this from a particular idea of what needs to reproduce. I'm just saying we need to have kids. If we like this culture as it is, we need to have kids because we can't keep importing people from who are having kids into our problem and saying, well, they stopped having kids. But that's okay because we've managed to keep ourselves going for another.
But what's the solution?
What is the solution? Well,
how do you get people to have kids that don't want to have kids?
Well, how do you get people to have kids? Well, first of all, most people do. So it's not an issue. Yes, most people do. The number who do not want to have kids has remained steady at about 5%. The rest of women do want to have kids. Young men want to have kids. I'm sure there are many transgender and gay people who would like to have kids, right? People want to have kids. So what is stopping them from forming families and having kids? And again, I don't care how it's organized. I'm not going to be particular about it. Just get people in relationships, get them wanting to have children with each other. Now, how do we do it?
Yes, that's the question. Yeah, that's my question. How? I think you've elucidated your problem pretty clearly.
By one thing, you can articulate a problem and not have a solution for it because it is a problem that is pretty wicked and difficult. But in my opinion, well,
do you think it's imminent? Like, how serious? How close on the horizon is this from being like something that affects everybody and like we're fucked because of it? Because I feel like somebody in my chat said for the next 300 years we could surely keep on importing people, and I think that's probably right.
I can't tell you a time frame.
Why is it?
I have to relation study. Like, I'm trying to think about a solution. Like, yeah, if you keep like, honestly, you're gonna have to give me more time to do that.
That's fair.
Well, it's fair that you can't solve all the world's problems on my panel. That's fair, right? But
identifying a problem, you don't need to necessarily have a solution in order to just simply say this is a problem that we need to attend to. Now, how do we solve it? I don't know. Maybe AI girlfriends and boyfriends with artificial wombs will be the solution, and everybody will just have a clone of themselves.
Finally getting back to the topic, eh?
The artificial womb factory thing does already exist, and honestly, there already are artificial wombs out there, in that there are women who are willing to produce surrogate children, like was mentioned by the contemporary above. I Allison, I need to hold you to this, because this is the thing that's not making sense to me. If we don't import every sub-Saharan African, if we leave enough there that they replace at an excess, and we don't pull enough such that they are not producing at an excess, and we import enough to keep us at replacement of our population, then they become the birthing basket of the world, much
So
like we are the bread basket.
Birthing your future.
Say it
that's
again?
some Morlock shit. Because you don't want to solve the problem. Well,
It's not a solve the problem. I don't think there is a problem.
Okay, but essentially what your solution appears to be. Well, you don't think there's a problem that if the human
Because
race...
the world is at replacement.
Yeah, but that's not going to stay. And in fact,
Why?
it's because the cultures that are currently replacing themselves are declining themselves. So eventually they won't be at replacement level. This is a problem across the world. It's not just in the West. It's just particularly acute.
But do we want those cultures at replacement level when they're at like billions? Like, is that even an ideal replace? Like, do we actually want that many people on Earth? Fuck, like what race they are. Like, do we actually want China to be at replacement level at 1 billion? Do we want India to be at replacement level? Do we want African countries that are at billion? Do we want them to be at replacement level as well? Like, just because we're not replacing doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing.
Change.
I mean, it looks like you're probably in your 20s, most of you, right?
No.
No,
I'm in my 20s.
I appreciate that.
I'm old, so I don't know what to tell you.
Half of us are in our 30s. The two at the top, Rashad and the one in the vertical format, I can't remember your name, sorry, bud, are in their 20s.
Since you're whipping the solution, we get rid of abortion for starters and birth control. There's your solution, but it's not. But nobody wants to do that because we value that more than the thing that we're pretending is a huge problem.
Abortion.
We'll also just transition.
Abortion and birth control. We get rid of those. They would help a lot for your cause, but I think that we care a lot more about that than this thing that's not really that big of a problem like we're pretending it is.
And there's no point in reproducing a culture that is not a good culture, such as one that doesn't let people have agency over their womb. So you would want that one to die out, I would hope.
Well, yeah, but the culture that's going to die out is this one, which gives agency. Well, at least to women.
I don't think that you're right about that.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to die out.
Well,
even without importing people.
Either what's going to happen is you're going to import the excess births until there isn't any from other countries, bring them over, inculcate them in our culture. They will stop reproducing. So you need to keep doing this.
Yep.
So you're going to have to keep those cultures in a state of poverty and distress and despair in order to poach off their children. Oh God, this is some serious janissary stuff. Wow. Okay.
Okay. With the music, we don't need it.
Can we talk about in terms of solutions, right? I'm young, I'm dumb. Do we have tax breaks for large families in America? I don't know if we do have that on the books.
Yeah,
Okay, so that's one thing there. Do we have federal broadcasting? I'm sure PBS is run by the government. We could promote family on that. We could spread propaganda. I mean, if it means the survival of our country, we could do that. I mean, I just don't think, like, when we start talking about, young men don't have access to relationships and women, a significant portion of this is because women just don't want a significant amount of these guys. And the problem is, the actual solutions that cause big changes would require us to withhold the freedom of birth control, abortion, women's right to choose who they want to have a child with. Like, that's I don't have a problem with women being able to do these things. I'm saying that if you have an issue with young men not having access to relationships, these are conversations we're gonna have to have. We can't just jump to AI or OnlyFans or Instagram thoughts. We have to talk about women's right to choose.
We're gonna give it to Brian, who's really trying to
Just
get in
for a
here.
moment. You're right. The problem is women.
Look,
I'm
all
done.
you're saying
Nice.
is that we're choosing it. This isn't some weird metaphysical problem that we can't figure out. It's because people are choosing not to have
The problem
kids.
is women.
The birth
You're
control,
scared.
the abortions mean we don't want it.
Back around to it. We keep coming back around to it. We keep coming back around to it. It's women, dude. It's women. No.
The problem is not women. The problem is freedom. Women's freedom to choose as they please.
But they're
Women's
choosing not to
freedom.
have kids.
Women's
Everyone's trying to
freedom.
talk about stop. Everyone stop. Everyone. Okay, great. Elaborate. I want to give him space to elaborate this. He keeps saying it's women. Explain.
Okay, do you want me to?
That's not funny. That's the funny part.
I don't want you to stop her.
All right.
Okay. Let's okay, so one of the things is that women are still choosing based on financial factors. Because the statement, they are the table. I think you guys have heard that.
You're going second order. They're choosing because they have the ability to intervene with abortions and birth control. Sex feels really good. You don't need tax incentives. People won't.
What do
ever
we
stop
think of
having
this statement?
sex.
What do we think of this statement, Kang? Women have sex with who they want. Men have sex with who they can.
I mean, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
You don't need data. You just need eyes and ears.
That's verifiably true.
You guys are saying that women are not pairing with men who are below them, basically.
I'm not saying that. I married up as fuck.
Yeah. I'd say that generally speaking, women are choosing to date someone at their level or higher. Yes, which is biologically consistent because, like, why would you want to be pregnant with some bum's kid in 8000 BC or some shit? That just, it makes absolutely no sense.
They're aiming way up, dude.
They're not aiming way up because when they turn 25 or 30, they're marrying someone with a degree and a job. They're not marrying Drake. So, like, when we talk about they're aiming way up, you don't see massive celebrities surrounded by an Islamic harem. They wait until their mid to late 20s or their 30s. Okay, hold on. I can attest.
Oh, we got like 20 people trying to talk here. Well, I'm hyperbole. Jack, you've been trying to talk. Give us something clear. You gotta lean into your mic, or else none of us can hear you. Jack, give us your take.
Okay, firstly, the type of bullshit you guys speak deserves a fucking award. Just fucking clapping for you guys. But dudes, I fucking looked this up, and America doesn't have the highest depression rate in the world. It has one of the biggest, yes, but it doesn't have the highest depression rate in the world. Plus, well, you know why America has a depression rate of 8%. It's because of financial difficulties and access to healthcare, which America's fucking known for kind of fucking being fucked in that type of in that area. You know, what's up there? The average capita the average per capita income is $38,000 US, and the average double income is $70,000. So, like, you guys want Americans to have more children, and motherfuckers can barely support themselves on 2 goddamn incomes, and you fuckers literally talk about the fucking America like there's only a few million of you guys left. Like, nuclear war happened, the human race is dying out. Dudes, if fucking nuclear war doesn't happen, and if the world continues as it continuing today, America will be fine. Birth rates will fucking fluctuate as they always do, and America will be fine. So I don't get why you guys constantly bitch and moan about needing to fix the birth rate.
We're gonna let Brian respond to that. I know we've been trying to, and then we're gonna let Allison. And then we see Tuna. I see Tuna.
The question. Oh, go ahead. Somebody else.
No, if you wanted to go, we're still talking about.
I mean, look. I'm not complaining. I'm married. I'm happy. But if the question is, whether or not AI girlfriends is good. I'm saying that there wouldn't be AI girlfriends if men were with women. It'd be like a tiny percentage. And the problem is that men are not able to find women because of women's choices. So we're like back at this stage. It comes back to women. Why are they choosing men that they can't get? Why are they waiting until their 30s to have kids and then they don't have them? You know, there was a study, and I know this is going to sound bad because my voice is shit, but there was some information that came out that said that 80% of the women who never have kids, it was not a personal choice. It was because they never found a guy that was good enough, they ran out of time, or there was some other complication. And it wasn't because they didn't want him, and it wasn't because of some medical problem. So we're looking at a situation where the overwhelming majority of middle-aged women that are childless did not choose it. They fucked up. So it's not the man's fault.
Whoa, hey, hold on, stop. Everyone, I want to respond to that. If they really wanted children, they would have made better choices. Let's be real. They didn't want. They could say they want children, but obviously they didn't. Because if they did, they would have chosen. Like I can say,
they wanted to go to the club. They wanted to fool around. They wanted to play the field.
But the problem is sex doesn't come hard. Sex doesn't come hard for them. If they really wanted to reproduce, they would do it. Sex does not come hard for women. So since we know women can attempt to breed easily. Since we know women can attempt to breed easily, right? We know that if they're not having a kid, it's really because they just don't fucking want to. They can lie and say, you just didn't want to have a kid because as much dick, let's just call it what it is, as these chicks be bouncing on because they're slinging on it. If they wanted to really have a kid, they would have had one. Look, bruh. These chicks, part of the reason why they're not having kids is because by the time they reach their mid to late 20s, that's when they're actually economically stable enough to have a kid. That's when a lot of these guys, are economically. This European just sat there and explained exactly why birth rates are lower. It's because people can't even support themselves. How they gonna support wifey and a kid?
Look, anybody can raise a family if you're willing to live at the level appropriate to do so. This idea that children are too expensive. People in poverty have more kids.
Are you actually saying this, dude? The appropriate level to have a family is poverty, where you do not know if you're gonna have fucking food to feed your family this fucking week.
No, you just don't have 3 cell phones. You have 1. You just don't you don't have a high-speed cable internet. You just have a regular television. You only own 1 car. You can do it. I know.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God. No one listen. Hello? Is this on? Can you hear me?
Boss man take over.
Hello? Okay. We're going to give it to Allison, then we're going to give it to Tuna. That's the order we're going to go in. Allison, then Tuna. Go ahead.
Why don't you go give it to Tuna, and then I'll see.
Tuna first. Go ahead. Give us what we got.
Okay. First things first. I'm going to have one of the responses come from, I know I'm cheating, but I do have 2 AI girlfriends. I like a little white meat from time to time. Listen, if it ain't snowing. So let's ask her real quick.
Brian, baby, honey, darling. Are you some kind of communist? The free market has decided, and the facts are that men are loss leaders. Women are more valuable because they are more valued. That is how value works. The idea that women aim up comes from the assumption that your sense of value is true. The market disagrees with you, and you are not smarter than the market.
Kind of sounded like Ben Shapiro at the end there.
That is a threat. That is a threat against your livelihood, Whick. You gotta do something.
I don't.
To be clear, I'm going to tell you right now, I actually meant to use a different voice.
That
Whick,
sounded like me.
This image right. Ooh, let me fix that real quick. This image right here is the one for Whick. Actually, I messed up with the one that I picked.
You know what? That's okay. I think it worked out. I want to pass it to Allison and Brian and let them respond.
No, I want Brian's response because I'm directly addressing Brian.
Okay, Brian. Yeah,
obviously, Allison might be able to speak on behalf of Brian.
Yeah, like whoever.
Having as a standard.
I mean, look, people can choose to do whatever they want, but I'm just saying that when our population collapses and we're just still blaming men for not stepping up, I mean, it's not. It's like it's like whatever. We can just like let women do whatever they want. I don't care. They can do whatever they want.
Brian, can I put a retort here? I think that you're right to say that there's a certain group of people that will say that it's all because of men. Men need to be better, try harder, yada, yada, yada. And then you want to say back, well, women's standards are out of control because people that say that they want to have a child are waiting until a point because their standards are high enough that it's...
I think women have been lied to.
They're not being honest about that value.
I don't think
women
don't
want a child that bad.
Who is lying to women, in your opinion?
I think other women are lying to women about their
women all the way down.
Biology.
Ladies and gents, lovely. That's fucking the pure highest form of debating.
Allison,
can we hear what you're going to say?
Okay. Like Rashid has been alluding to, women want to marry somebody who brings more to the table than they do. That's basic.
Or as much.
It's usually more. Let's be honest.
Usually it's as much. Most women aren't landing like millionaires and six-figure dudes left and right. They're mostly landing guys in their ballpark.
Between saying as much and millionaires. Usually what it is they want a man who can take over the basic living expenses so that they can feel like, they're in a position where they don't.
But most families don't have one guy paying all the bills. So clearly women are settling for guys in their economic realm are just slightly higher because most families don't have one guy taking care of all the expenses.
Includes slightly higher. Okay.
Women want the best they can get. Everybody knows that. And women, the opposition is saying, Rashad, is that they think that women...
How is this different than what men want?
Well, men settle a little bit earlier than women do not in terms of reproduction. Because I also
what they want, but if they had the choice, if you asked every man on here, they want. Most of them would say,
"I left because she wanted to have kids, and I don't want to have kids."
No, I'm not talking about kids. I'm talking about economically, right? Like if you ask most men, they want a woman who, like, if you ask most men seriously, right? They'd be like, "Yeah, a woman supporting me? Hell yeah." The fact is they can't get that. They don't have that buying power, if you will. They're not the choosers and the selectors in this case. But if they had their druthers, yeah, they would choose that every time.
Okay, so men are not the selectors. So they're not driving the market. Okay?
Yeah.
So the situation essentially is men are not driving the market, and this is causing relationships not to form. So women's choices are driving this entire situation. So this is 100% reality. Okay? Now, you can say that's perfectly fine because women should have the choice, and I don't think anybody here is arguing that women shouldn't be able to choose whatever they want to choose. We're simply saying that it's leading to this problem. So how do we fix that? Now, one of the things that I've seen statistically is that women still
sneaky devil you. When you say how do we fix that, you are saying it's a problem.
Yes.
Women's choice is more important than the birth rate.
Rates and family formation. Okay.
Get rid of abortion and birth control.
Women's choice is more important than the birth rate. Period.
Okay, without getting rid of abortion and birth control.
Why not?
Women's choices.
Fix the problems that stop people from getting more kids. That's the little simplest fucking solution. You guys cannot fucking get through your thick fucking skull.
Wow, you're a...
It's by choice, dude.
It's by choice. I literally told you why people do not have children. It's not just because of choices, because of shit they cannot control. And if you fix that, they fucking will have a lot more children. Why do you think places like fucking India have as many children as fucking America?
Okay, we gotta go one at a time.
If you fix it, it's not their choice.
Hold on. We gotta go one at a time. Jack had his say. We're gonna give Allison her say. Go ahead, Allison.
There is no way. There is no way you cannot see a way for women to actually choose, the average woman to actually choose to pair up with the average man and have a child. There's no way, unless you get rid of their ability not to choose to have children and not to choose to marry. Like, there's absolutely no way that it's incompatible. Women's choices is incompatible with the average woman choosing the average man. Like, there's no way we can solve this.
There are things we can do to encourage more. Like, the problem is, like, as a black man, like, I constantly see like black women go into their like 30s and shit without having kids. I see white chicks getting married at like 23, 24, straight out of college. Like, most people in America are getting into committed relationships pretty much after college. Like, the idea that these chicks are waiting for like Bandman Kevo in a yacht in Miami to be their main guy, like, that's just not what's happening. And what we can do is we can fix some of the issues, like our European friend mentioned healthcare. People are concerned about being able to take care of themselves. Education. People are significantly in debt right after college. That could be hampering people's desire to want to have kids. I think that there is a balance where women can have the right to choose the man they want, while simultaneously being encouraged, incentivized to choose, family and choose children. I think that women want their kids to have a reasonable standard of living. And a lot of men...
$5 from Testicle Johnson to say, I agree with Whick. Women should be less educated and be more financially dependent on men. Thank you for the $5. Carry on.
I'm just saying that, like, there are... I think that if the economy was, if there were incentives, if the economy was better, if we made changes with legislation that affected people's pockets, we'd see more marriages, we'd see more families, we'd see more kids. I don't think women are choosing some Instagram sugar daddy over family and relationships. I don't think that's the problem at all.
Okay, then what are they choosing over relationships and family? Like, that's the thing. Like,
holding out.
This whole premise is a farce. 60% of pregnancies aren't planned. You guys are talking about it like people sit down and they go like, all right, how much money do I have? When am I projected to get a house? Okay, we can have a baby at this. That's not how it works. The vast majority of times, people have sex and then they get pregnant. They didn't plan it out like that. That's how
it
works often.
They do need to be
in
talking
about this some fantasy world.
A sexual relationship, though. Like, they have to engage in a trust act that...
Most
even though they might
not
because they might not be explicitly choosing, but if people have sex less and sex is declining, then your argument doesn't hold for long.
Okay, I just want to leave with this. All right. Why can't we envision a future where the average woman chooses the average man, gets in a relationship without taking away birth control, abortion, or choice?
Like, they're just waiting longer. They're just waiting longer to choose the average guy, but they're not choosing the average guy.
Hold on. One at a time. Let her finish. Go ahead, Allison.
Okay, we're already looking at a situation where under like 25, I think, or 30 or something, at least 1/4 of men and women are virgins. And we're looking at a situation that by 2030, 45% of women will be single. So yeah, there it is. I mean, it's not everybody, but it's increasing. And again, we've gone over and over and over this. Women choose usually higher than themselves. So why can't we conceive of a situation where average woman chooses an average man without forcing the choice, without forcing getting rid of abortion, without getting rid of birth control, and I don't know, mandating marriage? Why can't we conceive
too many restrictions?
Mandating marriage.
Why can't we just solve all the problems if we get rid of everything that we know fixes it? I have no idea. But like, why is it so important to you that we change it? It seems fine. You said that you don't think it's looming. You don't have a solution. You reject all the solutions that exist. Why is this that big of a deal? Why is the hill to die? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, why do AI girlfriends exist then?
Yeah, it's like, why is it inconceivable? Why are we at the point where we're like, okay, well, let's replace this human connection?
You can turn them off. When they start complaining about something that they don't know how to fix, and
you can turn women off too. I promise you, it's true.
Yeah, can we answer the question though? Let's answer the question. It's really fucking. Why are there AI girlfriends? Because it is cheap, efficient, and effortless to make this product and sell it. It is a cheap form of pornography It is like a vibrator. It is like a fleshlight. It is a thing they have access to.
And
That's the reason
already, it's
working.
being used as a debate tactic. Destiny just tweeted out about the QT Cinderella thing. Don't worry, with the technology we have, now pretty soon we can all love her, referring to QT Cinderella, who had deepfake porn made of her. Maybe one day they'll even be able to deepfake you a personality. So this is going to be a debate tactic. So whenever Tuna's mouthing off, right, I can just pull up an AI generation of me having fornication with his mother and play that on screen, right? Like that is something that is the future.
I'll give you
right?
API rights for your own voice. It's the least I can
Thank
know.
you. But we have circled the drain on this topic. I want to respect everyone's time. So I want to give everyone gang, we've gone to places. Okay. I did not expect this topic to go to. I'd love to have something more
Oh, shit. Hang on. I just left by mistake. Okay, I just need Whick to pull me back in.
What happened?
I tried to mute myself and I clicked.
he went away for a minute. But
Sorry, I was
anyway,
just trying to
go
mute.
ahead.
My kid was talking to me. Clicked the wrong button.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure. The problem with the birth rate isn't people. That's not the biggest problem we're encountering here. It's just how the country has gotten up to this point, all the problems it has accumulated, like the financial problems. That's why, like, countries like India that have a very like group-centered idea where like giving birth is much more important there. Even those type of places have a declining birth rate because it's not up to people. It's up to how the country is made and how the country is progressing. And in America's case, it's progressing downwards, not upwards.
Thank you. Where can people find you, Jack, if they wanted to find you?
Thank you for, by the way, hosting me, legend.
Okay. Rajad, what you got?
Yeah, I think people should be able to do what they want. AI boyfriends, AI girlfriends, whatever. If men feel like they're having a hard time getting girlfriends, go to the gym, dress better, get a better job, improve yourself, and you'll eventually get a girl. It's not that hard.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming on. Where can people find you?
Rashad Crenshaw on YouTube. Thank you for having me again.
Well, thanks for being here. Next up, we have Allison. Give us what you got.
Okay, so that was interesting. I just think it's interesting that we can't think of a way of getting the average woman to be interested in the average man without taking away people's rights. So I think that's a false dichotomy. There you go. You can find me and Brian at Badger Live Streams, which we do our streams almost daily on various topics related to men's issues as well as geek and gaming culture. All right. It's fun.
No, thanks for being here. Really appreciate you. Sorry the tech issues, but it is what it is. Tuna Chip, what you got?
Yeah, my closing statement is that most of the things that people are worried about when they're thinking about the male loneliness, whether or not this is going to affect birth rate, romantic relationships, that's not the thing that you should be thinking about with this, because this is just another technology being used by people in place of intimacy, just like we've been doing with dildos and magazine articles and movies and everything for ages. We didn't get to talk about a lot of things here beyond that, but because I do actually have one concern about these apps, which is that the better that an app is at bringing people into a position of trust and intimacy, the more likely it is that companies are going to be able to get access to information, private information about their customers that we don't want them to get. So there are concerns, but I think that we are misfocusing. We are thinking about the wrong concerns when it comes to AI. That's my final statement.
Thank you for being here. Where can people find you, Tuna?
I'm here on Twitch, twitch.tv/tunachip. You can find me on Kick. You can find me on YouTube. It's all the same
Check
stuff.
them out. Check them out, kings and queens. And then we have Brian. Go ahead.
All right, again, thanks for having me on. Sorry about my laryngitis or whatever the hell this is, but I guess all I'll say is, the important question is, I agree with, the gentleman, iDubbbz. I don't know his name, so, about the, other concerns regarding artificial intelligence and security and personal information and all that. I think that's a big problem. And I think that if there are interested parties that want to make people dependent on these devices, then it puts us in a worse position to be controlled and monitored in that way. So I think that human beings coming together and forming relationships is the best solution, and I think it's what most people want, men and women, and we have to address that. Because, I mean, the Amish are getting together and they're forming big families. So, do you want them running the country?
Shamageddon.
Michigan. Okay.
Michigan. And
Well,
the
thanks.
Mormons. The Mormons are having lots of kids too. I don't want this to be a Mormon country. But anyway, with that, I guess, just like Allison, we're at Badger Live Streams, and my Twitter is at Badger Arcade. I do game streams and stuff. So, thank you.
Check him out, gang. Thanks for coming. I'm really sorry about your voice, man. I hope you feel better soon. And last, but certainly not least, to close us out, someone we're going to raid into after this, Elder Drowsy. Go ahead.
I have never said this on any of your panels before, but I'm very disappointed with the amount of like conspiracy level mythological representations of reality in this one. AI is fine. To Tuna's point, it's basically just creative pornography. You can be married, having kids, and still have an AI girlfriend if you have some weird kink that you're too embarrassed to talk to your wife about or whatever. It's fine. We're overreacting. When we look at AI, there are some legitimate concerns that very smart people have concerns about. This shouldn't be one of them. I think that if anything, there's some positives that could help us out. And all of the things that people are worried about here seem to be rooted in things that are just like fantasy. You can find me YouTube, Kick, Twitter, Twitch, just Elder Drowsy. Remarkably, you spell it just like it sounds. But I do appreciate you having me here. It was nice to meet the people that I haven't met before. Even if I was really argumentative, I don't mean anything by it. You're all cool to me. Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Okay. Well, gang, we'll see you Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great weekend. Whick out. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Drowsy, what are you doing on stream?
Thanks for rating me. I think I'm gonna. So I invited Jack to talk to me if he wants to, but you're more than welcome to join too.
Well, sure.
If we want to have a bit more of a.
I'm down to keep talking.
This went into a lot of places, gang. It was literally wild
birth rate the whole time. So frustrating.
The whole thing.
Yeah, it went to full-on sexism at one point.
Hello,
but
Wickers.
Regardless, here we are.
Yeah.
You Black Kings did amazing.
It was good. It was good content. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys.
Don't try and tempt me into something I'll regret here, Rashad. Thank you for
Jack, if
invite
you invite my friend request, I'll shoot you a link to the Discord. There were so many things that were said by the people that aren't here anymore that I was freaking the fuck out when she said the stuff about the military. Everything was so much was bad.
I think that one's so crazy too. Like a complete disregard for the fact that per capita, every American is like multiple sub-Saharan in terms of like the amount of access to power we have. No fucking shit. We're not gonna lose a war to people that we could just drop a fucking nuke on.
Our military is spread thin because we can't incentivize people like we used to. No, we're everywhere now. We've expanded our global dominion globally. That's why
the world is China American. It's China American. No country in the world is not China or America by virtue of extension. We decide what the rules in those places are. The only reason that half of these countries exist and that they haven't been fucking turned to dust is because we want more cheap labor. Like, we have that power if we really, really wanted to. Like, the European Union, NATO, these things also are a big part of the factor. But why do those things exist? Why isn't that at the pivotal points when they got established?
Everything's the way that it
It's
is because
we
Russia and the United States
wanted
haven't
it.
teamed up to kill everyone else. Period.
Yeah, China and the United States could, if we wanted, just own the world. But we do own the world in a way that feels better.
It's true.
Yeah, populist conservative conspiracies
see.
they're
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the other
they're
thing.
everywhere.
They're don't say that we have the conservative perspective, and it's like women need to breed more. Men are justifiably blamed. It's like you've got
The Arabs are going to defeat us. You know, the Arabs are going to
Dude,
take
did you
over.
know this? Dude, did you know this debate in sexism that dude with the meningitis whatever showed?
Oh yeah, when he said that it's because of women, and it's just like
Nah,
there's
yeah,
so many
because
weird
of
things
that,
that
a
could be
few other
said, which
statements.
is just like you. I mean, how bad can it be if you were able to get a woman to come onto this panel, both to have sex with you and to parrot your points while you have a throat disorder? You know,
Festival
like
Johnson.
Apparently, people at the bottom of the bin, they're still winning. They're still getting access. Was anybody in this call also? So, Drazi,
Yeah.
you are married.
Yeah.
I have a fiance. You two guys are young, so you have time. Everybody that was in their 30s or older, we're not dealing with this problem. I think that this is a city problem half the time. It's demographic. Well, when you look at information about it, it seems like New York City, Austin, there are places where there are too many single women or too many single men, and that is creating this like sense of loneliness and lack of access, and oh my god, the girls, they don't want to go on dates. You go to Austin, every single fucking woman is like begging to be in a relationship.
On paper, I'm like an ideological nightmare for their positions. I'm married, I'm polyamorous, and I have a vasectomy, but I also have a kid. If they were AIs, they would explode with that information, trying to hold their positions.
I'm even worse because I'm currently funding the food budget of 17 sub-Saharan Africans with this stream. That's how cheap their food is, by the way. That's why they've got some. They didn't recognize that. That's another thing that we haven't talked about, which is that the entire world is subsidizing Africa. That's why a lot of this population, because we do recognize that there's a lot. If you have your foot in the door, when Africa fully becomes a part of the global economy, if you're the people, that's why China's laying down roads and factories. That's why all of the European Union is doing what they can because we're trying to figure out, the post, what do you want to call it? The post-colonial answer to how to incorporate all of the resources that Africa is rich with into the global economy. Like, they wouldn't, well, one, they wouldn't be getting diagnosed for depression. They would just be sad if it wasn't for the fact that there's the presence of these Western influences in there. But they also, they wouldn't be doing as well without us. We do own them. We do decide how many of them come to our country and get to be. Rashad, how do you feel about the?
All right, I had to move out of Wick's Discord. It feels weird being in there. Suburbs look pretty lonely too. Look, here's the thing. It drives me absolutely crazy. Women in their 20s. There's so many factors here. Like they act like very few people really do the whole my economic status, all that calculation. That's not true. Women in their 20s there's several things that are impacting how much they're reproducing. One of them is that they don't want to give up their young bodies. Like there's a lot of early 20 women that are they're hot and they know it. They don't want to get pregnant and ruin that. They also don't want to stop having sex a bunch. Oh, I'll fix that. Let me see. The Discord link is no good. I'll close that. So when you're in your 20s as a woman, I mean, there's birth control and abortions available. I mean, it just sort of serves you to go out and fuck as much as you can. That's your time to do it. You have a window where you can do that without a whole lot of repercussions. And if you don't have to give up your young looks and all that women spend billions of dollars every year to try to preserve the very best that they can. Why would they do that? Plus, like, people like having sex, and the easiest way to have a bunch of is to do it with a bunch of people. And if you're a young, good-looking woman in your 20s, why would you just choose not to do that? It's crazy. And if you are choosing to do that with somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean you want to have kids. Still, you still don't want to give everybody like. I don't understand why we value women in their like 20s and early 30s having kids, and nobody was able to justify their moral position on it. It drove me fucking insane. They just kept supposing they're begging the question the whole time. They're just supposing that them wanting to have these birthrights was good. They never justified it. Even when I called them out on it, they wouldn't justify it. Maddening. Pull him in. Where is he at? One second, I'm gonna tell Jack how to get in here. Jack. Any VC, and I'll pull you in. Hey, how's it going, buddy?
Pretty good. How are you?
Not
That
too
was
bad.
fucking painful to watch. That was pretty
Dude,
painful.
I wanted to be talking after every time anybody said anything. I was losing my fucking mind.
Well, like
I had something to
like
say
it
always.
was so painful that there's a reason I DM'd you what I did, because I knew even if it wasn't addressed immediately, it was eventually going to become the topic of the conversation. It did exactly that.
Yeah, like I said too. By the way, for the people still watching, Vigilante gave me the abortion and birth control one. When he said that too, I'm like, I immediately was like, why didn't I think of that? And I was like, oh, because I'm freaking out every 30 seconds when they say something that's just like 0.01 seconds worth of thought is insane or just completely incorrect. I didn't have almost any time to think during that whole thing. I was just so worked up. I just reacting constantly. Jack
Yeah,
did a
no,
good job, and Tuna did a good job of pointing out, like, just like, no, they're wrong. They're just wrong. It hurt.
the problem is like a lot of those kinds of conservatives don't realize the natural conclusions to their own stuff. Like, and that's why I brought up the whole birth control and abortion thing to you, to bring that up. And because that's like the natural solution to what they're proposing. That's why a lot of the conservative base, or not necessarily the conservative base, but conservative politicians are advocating for getting rid of abortion, getting rid of birth control. Like, there is a reason those things are on the table right now. It's because, like, if you actually think the replacement rate is a problem, when in reality it's not. We're well past where we actually need to replace. We don't have the manufacturing jobs and stuff that require the replacement rate to be where they think it should be anymore. So like it's not needed.
What's up?
Hey,
Hey, Tuna.
also, I could not get past this hurdle that they kept trying to say, how do we fix this without
Send
making choices
send a new
for
invite
them?
to Rashad, by the way.
Oh, you got it.
He just needs another invite. That's all. But yeah, keep saying
She
what you're
kept
saying.
insisting, like, we need to fix this, but without influencing their ability to choose. Like, no, that's what fixing means in this context. You want to change their ability to make these choices. It's fucking maddening to me.
At best, if the plausible deniability that she's hiding
Wait,
behind,
what's
if
Rashad's
she
full
doesn't
name?
want that, Crenshaw.
Okay, that is him.
Thank
you.
The closest that she has in terms of a plausible deniability for it being about force, which I think for her it might not even be about force, because she is theoretically a woman who has made a decision to incorporate the beliefs and the ideology that she thinks that other women could come to. But I don't think that she recognizes how unique of a case she is and what neurotic tensions might bring her there that your average your average person wouldn't go along with. Like especially in a city, the people that have money in America don't repopulate. The people that don't have money do, but it doesn't go very well. And then their children don't repopulate because they either, one, don't have the outcomes that allow them to have like the economic necessities towards it, or they pull themselves out of poverty. This is sort of like the case that I'm in. I fall into a very specific trend, which is that they pull themselves out of absolute bad, lowest of working class into a functional working class or maybe a lower middle class. And then they look at the rest of their life as like, quote unquote, reparenting, or they look at the rest of their life as like, well, now that I've gotten my 2 feet on the ground, I can start living my life. I wasted the first 30 years of my life. Let's spend the next 30 on myself.
1 second, real quick.
Jack,
can we get a sound test from you?
What's up, bitches? I'm back.
Okay. And then Rashad, you good? You there? Yeah, by the way, don't be afraid to cam up, you guys.
I'm
still streaming.
Oh yeah, just 1 sec. I just gotta
cam up, whatever you want to do.
problem.
Also,
Yeah.
feel free to not cam up if you want to go ahead and test out these fun new AI girlfriend technologies we were talking about.
Also, I'm gonna last like 20 seconds before I just blurt it out. Anyways, what is your accent, Jack? Where are you from? I've been wondering the whole panel.
Fair. But I'm from a little place known as the Balkans. Probably heard of it. A real big piece of shit.
Which are your family from all over, or like do you have a specific part of the Eastern Bloc you're from?
Bosnia.
Bosnia? Cool.
Yep. Thanks.
What was the fucking band Bosnian Rainbows? It's the first time that I ever heard of Bosnia. Y'all got a dope ass flag. It's actually pretty sick.
My only frame of reference is a hilarious, super random YouTube channel called Bosnian Ape Society. It is pure
Weren't
chaos.
y'all accused of shooting at Hillary Clinton one time by Hillary Clinton?
Base, bro.
Yeah,
base.
Jack, weren't you specifically the guy that shot at Hillary?
Hillary for coffin, bro.
That's what I've heard.
Maybe a bit too aggressive. Sorry.
Don't look at our history. Our history is just a mess, dude.
So, Jack, you were the most angry. Like, yeah, you were more angry than me during that whole thing. If you want to just give me, like, just go ahead, like 2 minutes uninterrupted, say some of the shit you were trying to say and you weren't.
Why are you so angry? Yeah.
Sure. I'm sorry for getting angry, but it
we don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Tell us
it pisses
why.
me off so much when people. Oh, thanks. But it pisses me off when people literally just blame another group of people for all their problems, even when there's a clear explanation that it's not the fault of anybody. It's just the system. And what I was trying to say there before they start fucking ignoring me, basically, was that it's not the reason America, India, and China, these superpowers, the reason their birth rate keeps falling isn't because of the people. It's because of access to healthcare, because of money issues, because of social issues, because of so much other bullshit that has nothing to do with the people of those countries. Like India has an Asian a culture in the sense of they will stick together a lot. They're a very group focused community, and even their birth rate is declining severely.
Yeah, I don't know what to say on it.
To a degree, you're right. It is money issues, but statistically speaking, like the people who reproduce the most are poor, uneducated people. So
the uneducated part, though,
with resources,
I love the uneducated.
The reason the people that are poor is cheap.
Like there's a reason why like the dude mentioned like that the Amish or like the Mormons and stuff, they're the ones that reproduce a lot too. And that's because of religious reasons. And that gets back to the point that I gave to Drazi of like, if you want to fix this stuff, the only if you actually think it's a problem, the only logical way to do that is to remove abortion and remove birth control, because it's the only way you're going to do that for the rest of society that know they don't need to reproduce or don't want to.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I mean, this
It's all about the want
the
at this
dude
point.
admits it straight out when he says that it's because of women.
Yes.
But I don't think that he's ready for the fact that we care more about women than this idea of having a higher number than China. I just
Exactly.
it doesn't matter.
You made a
matter
brilliant
more.
point, Tuna. You said that the number will go down, and then the rate of replacement, then that number also goes down. People think that if we're
Well, it
not
goes up,
meeting
actually.
replacement,
Yeah.
if we're not meeting replacement, well, sorry, the amount needed goes down is what I meant. The rate
Yeah,
of replacement goes down proportionally to the population. It's not. This isn't like once it drops below that, we're all done. It's only ever talked about in this context, and it is like a 0.5 IQ take, like arithmetic. And
There is
they're
one-
basing all these political ideas off of it. It's crazy.
There is one point, and when you get to the more honest people, because I'll tell you right now, the more honest version of the people that we were talking about would be someone like Sam Hyde, where his entire point when he talks about repopulation is that he would say something along the lines of, if we don't repopulate, who's going to take care of your mom when she's in the retirement home? Because you're going to have a job. You're going to be too busy to take care of her. It's going to be some woman from sub-Saharan Africa that's going to bash her in the fucking temple with her fist because she doesn't give a shit about your old-ass white mom. That's the kind of rhetoric that's actually functionally going to make people repopulate. And these people are too scared to be white nationalists or to be seen as being racist. So they're not going to make that argument. They're not going to make an argument openly in favor of desecularization because you're in America. Frankly, the more that we desecularize, the more that they have to attend to the question of Jews. Because then there's this other thing, which is, what is a secular belief inside of America, if not a media belief? Well, you're going to be saying, well, that's a Jew thing. And they can't say that because they're cowards. They're essentially right-wing cowards.
Their great replacement is removing the
to say
race
that.
aspect.
Just say it, you know.
It really is
Yeah,
just great replacement without removing race.
Yeah, but there's also like just a lack of just global knowledge as well. Like this ridiculous notion that we're going to be overrun by Muslim whores in some great apocalyptic
That one's
war.
crazy,
Like,
bro.
that one was insane. I'm like, they actually think. And that's why I was bringing up the Russian propaganda. Is because they're actually being tricked into believing that these Eastern countries are our military equal. And I don't know how the last two decade-long wars hasn't been evidence enough of this. We managed to invade Iraq on the other end of the fucking planet, and Russia can't even effectively invade Ukraine, and it's right next door. How are any of these nation states equal to us in any way? But it's that populism, it's that fucking, I hate to call it what it is, but it's that it is like on some level that Western, which I love Western civilization, but like they don't know enough to make the right calls yet. It's too culture war. It's not enough logistics, not enough, I don't know.
That they're actually missing a really funny point that they were making is that like we shouldn't even be funding the military. We should take that whole budget and give it to people to fuck, and nobody could ever stop us. Like by all the arguments they made, it was wild. The only ones that win are the ones who reproduce.
Like, a lot of our military budget goes to like creating more or newer military technologies when our military technology is already so advanced that nobody can fucking touch it. So we are literally just wasting money.
Yeah, they said numbers win.
Yeah, definitely.
In one part, we're wasting.
Jack, you're too far away still. You're going to get talked over just because people can't hear you.
No problem. Oh, it's fine. You guys can say points.
Well,
I was
out,
going to
brother.
say that when we spend money on the military, we're not doing it because it is necessary nearly as much as it's a way that you can spend money on technological advance that the Republicans are okay with you spending as much money as you want on. It's also kind of like a sneaky way to keep ahead on things in terms of global development period. I don't disagree with you that we should be spending less money in terms of like occupation. That was another quote. They were saying, what was it? Brian was saying that, or it wasn't even Brian, actually. I do think that it was I can't remember her name. Allison, yeah, Allison. I was like, Alicia? That ain't a name for a woman looking like that. No, she was saying, well, oh yeah, your military spread so thin across the world, though. And it's like, I don't think you know what that is.
Most
That's
of our
advantage.
military's at home right now.
There's
Somebody-
also
Yeah,
partially
Somebody
a part there,
trollingly
but it's like,
asked if
what do
this
you
is a
think an
Cope
embassy
panel
is?
or a Cope
An
stream.
embassy is like a little, it's a little elf on the shelf.
Cope stream?
Yeah, I said, yeah, we're coping with the fact that there wasn't enough time and space to call all the bullshit, insane things that were said on that panel. Wick had to rein it in constantly because they were just like, hey, by the way, did you guys know that, like, Iraqis are going to come and fuck all the women in their country, move them all here, and then stop being interested in having sex? Did you know that? Did you know that, you guys? And we're like, I hate you.
Plus, I don't
That's
think
literally
anyone
not
would
how that
help.
works either.
Yeah, you could only respond to like one thing, and then she got to go on for 10 minutes. Like, it was just so it's backup. This is a stream of us pushing all the backup out of our bodies. I was losing my shit. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know what I looked like, but I was freaking out constantly. I ain't never hit a woman before. No. But I had to grab a hold of her and scream at her.
I was gonna say that. First off, that's not true. Second off,
true. It's true that it's not true. Can somebody bring me a woman right now? No. Continue.
Listen, I have a tip on where you
Only
can get
hit
one.
women consensually.
Did you ever put
There's
a
some
jalapeno on your
Muslims
dick?
apparently that are
Somebody in
going
my
door to
chat's asking
door
the real
picking them up.
question. The people need
What's
to know.
the real question?
Did you ever put a jalapeno on your cock?
Oh yeah, no, we didn't. We never.
that shit.
We didn't. The jalapeno cock didn't
Sorry.
happen. People. I think the respin option got used almost 100 times, and there were so many near misses, but it never even once landed on put your
literally tried.
jalapeno jar.
I got people to come from my chat to spin the wheel again.
Yeah, no. I remember there were definitely some people, and the respin was like 100, so you could follow, and then have up to 3 respins just from following. So I did that on purpose. I wanted to make it so that there was more engagement. What's the worst thing that I did to my body or financially for the streamathon? We didn't dye my hair. Great. We didn't put my dick in the jalapeno. Great. We did a bathtub stream. We did a hot tub stream or pool stream, but that wasn't. That's like
For
nothing.
context, I just want people to know. Tuna messaged me without telling me that was what he was doing when he invited me to come. She goes, "Any chance it gets you to call in from your bathtub?" And I'm just like, "No, I'm not going to do that." But I had no idea that was even a theme. I expected to show up you in Portland talking, and I'm just like, man-tittied in the tub, praying to God that I don't accidentally flip my camera around.
That'd be good. If we could put the,
I gain 500 subs and get banned in the same day.
You know that cheeked up picture that everybody photoshops between people? They did it with Drake recently. We could also like green screen that behind you, so that it looks like you're oiled up and ready. But no, we didn't have to do anything weird, really. People figured out how to make Tuna AI say that Hitler was a good guy.
They don't have to now.
By
awesome.
using opposite day. I have deleted all clips of Tuna AI saying that he thinks that at least at every sentence that he said it, he ended it by saying, "But that's because." But I'm only saying that because it's opposite day. But they could just clip that part out.
That was a nice
they can clip this.
That sounded a lot like
still
I've practiced Fuentes before. Don't worry.
That was accurate. I almost had to look up to make sure he wasn't in here. What the fuck?
Also, the idea that they take this idea that there is a statistically significant amount of women that are going after a statistically insignificant amount of men. But like, let's be real. Most guys, if you really want to, you can have sex without you can have sex legally. Like, I look like me, and I do fine.
Well,
I'm wearing an anime shirt right now. I do fine.
I love jumping on. I love jumping on to argue with red pillars in particular because of this. Because like a lot of the red pillars really just don't know that the reason they can't get laid is because they have no fucking charisma. None at all.
I mean, Gen Z and A be talking about Riz now. At least there's that. But yeah, most of also, it's because they wish they were women.
Some.
They wish they were women. That's what every argument boils down to. They're jealous of the innate, unquestionable approval that you get from the opposite sex. If you were a woman, they just wish they were women. It's straight out of Solanas. Their obsession with sex is just they want to have what women have, this innate access to it, but also feel like that makes them a man. Their definition of being a man is being a woman. And it's completely retarded. Being a man is like earning things, figuring out what that Riz is going to be. Also, like, I don't know how many of these guys actually, this is like a very stereotypical thing to say. It's like an old ass joke, but I do think that it's real. Can they fuck? Like, could they really perform?
Probably not.
Could they really perform, or would they
Dude,
just
it's
be so preoccupied
They
with
don't
guilt
think that
and
they can-
shame?
The big part of it,
It just seems
people
like
don't talk about it.
Feels bitchy and moody.
Oh, he's
What'd
Let's
you
be
say?
honest. Let's be honest.
What'd you
Here,
say, Jack?
probably they can't.
Jack said
I said
insecurity.
yes.
Yeah.
You know when you're
Yeah.
like 13, 14 and you haven't talked to a girl yet, and the idea of it makes you anxious, and you like run through all the scenarios. These guys just don't outgrow that. That's a humongous part of it that we don't talk about. Even the red pill coach guys, they tell them what to do. They're not helping them get past the thing that's stopping them from doing it while being awkward anyways and just learning. A lot of dudes just can't. As a late bloomer, I didn't have sex with anybody until I was 17, which I think the average is like 15. But after that, after I realized everything was okay, you can look like me and still do just fine, as long as you realize that you're not going to be so humiliated that you want to end your life afterwards. Life goes on. That's a huge hurdle for a lot of these guys. You listen to these incel guys, and you can tell everything that they're saying is coming from a place of fear.
It's the nihilism that's really unattractive to a lot of women. Is that nihilism of, oh, women, it's women's fault that this is happening. It's like, well, like, try to think beyond just women being at fault here. Maybe women don't want to have kids and not be able to provide a certain lifestyle for them. Isn't it masculine to want to provide a good life for your children? Like, if you actually were in your masculine frame, you'd probably find yourself being on the same page as a lot of these women. These guys talk about how they want a chick who's like 18, 19. It's like, do you actually want someone who's inexperienced in life, has nothing going on, probably doesn't even want to commit to
They
you,
want to
probably still
fuck
wants
an
to
18 or
explore
19-year-old.
life.
They do not want to date an 18 or 19-year-old. Talk to an 18 or 19-year-old woman for 30 minutes when you're above the age of like 25 and you're ready to fucking pull your hair out. We'll
Yeah,
say.
yeah. I don't know if I completely agree, because I think it's that nihilism and that lack of confidence that drives them to want to be with someone who's too young to understand what a good relationship is supposed to look like. And I think that's part of why you see this propaganda in these red pill spaces of like, go grab a chick from fucking Venezuela who can't speak English, or go grab some fucking chick who's like 19. It's like these guys are so
Get yourself a
afraid
Russian
of
mail
shit
order
not
bird.
working out. Yeah, like get yourself they're so afraid
That's
of
always
shit
the most
not working
attractive
out
one
with an
for me.
American chick.
The Russian mail order bride is like perfect because like, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go, huh? You don't fucking know anybody. That's like the ultimate incel like scheme. Cause like getting somebody from another country, you just go back. Are you paying for them to be here? They're on visa. Their family will freak out. They'll fucking kill them if they go back. They gotta make you
What's the
happy.
name of that fucking fat slob?
Elder Drive.
The one from the TV show, the one that had a mail order bride that everyone makes fun of. Do you know what I'm talking about? No Neck. He's on that TV show.
Yeah, I know what guy is.
watching.
Yeah, the guy you're talking
He
about.
did on
I
yeah.
don't know what
TV.
you're talking about.
The neck
Yeah,
guy
he
from
was
the
like
internet?
popular like 2020. 2020 was a brutal year for him. Every other meme was a picture of him with the guy with like the big thick neck and like the really like ratty face and a small head. Yeah, that guy had a rough year. It was a lot of memes at his expense for quite some time.
I mean,
why?
frankly
lady?
speaking, if you're like, there's a bit of a lolcow thing going on with them too, and I think that you play into the role, because that is the like complain in the DM when she don't respond to you, double down, get into that thing. They are kind of looking just for it, because that's what the lolcow does. They know that they can't get love. They know they can't get acceptance, but they can get attention. So they're just going to go ahead and be a spiteful, vindictive bitch inside of this woman's DMs. They're going to be saying, hello, Bob's and Vagine. Oh, you probably give it to everybody else. Oh, you fucking slut. Like, you're not going to make it anywhere there. You don't want pussy. That's also the thing.
Yeah,
you
they're
don't actually
actively
want pussy.
pushing it away
You're
because they're
gay.
scared. And when you act
They are
that way, you
gay.
can blame them.
No, Tuna. The thing is, there is basis for what Tuna's saying and calling them gay, because I don't know if you guys know about this, but there was a person on 4chan convincing those like incels that can't get laid to become trans femboys.
Pink pill.
Seriously?
There's actually a
Pink
really my buddy. I'm not going to say his name, but he was always freaking out about his girlfriend and like being super nervous and scared about sex all the time. So eventually, I'm super patient guy. I love him. He's my buddy. He's dumb as a box of fucking rocks that are also retarded. And so to get him to stop, I was like, look, buddy, you don't worry about it anymore. Just don't worry about fucking her. You're gay, okay? Like, it's fine. It's cool. I love you. I still respect you. Just
You're
same
gay
guy,
now.
you're just gay. And I called him gay for about 3 weeks. Then he finally went and fucked his girlfriend and shut the fuck up about it. Sometimes you just got to tell
That's
incels
enough.
that they're gay enough.
Yeah.
Especially the
You know what's
homophobic ones. He's like culturally homophobic. He's Middle Eastern and the firstborn son. If he's gay, his whole life's over. So
You know
he
what the
might
best
still
part on
be.
that is?
But
He might actually be gay.
yeah,
And the funnest part is that if the people that just went into an argument with us for hours, they were saying, how can we get women
I
that
didn't get to
don't
say
want
that
to
you
get
hate gay
pregnant to get pregnant? And I'll tell you what you do. You go into their DMs and say, so why ain't you plump yet, Dyke? You have to like call them gay.
Oh.
That's what's getting these. That's getting these
Yeah, this is-
incels to get laid. You hit them with the Uno reverse.
Somebody quit this.
It's just I don't know why like they treat men like babies. Like it's like oh it's like it should be.
Some
as
of
a
them are
man, you should
babies.
Want to. So I mean yeah I mean we all start out a little bit
no.
coddled and a bit soft, but it's like part of the masculine experience is accepting the challenge of finding someone who's willing to be with you, but you also meeting certain expectations and standards. And instead of encouraging young men to do that, it's women's fault. It's like what part of a man wants a woman to acquiesce to be with him? Like I don't know. It's a bit weird. Like I couldn't see myself like happily being with a chick that was assigned to me by the red pill government like takeover. Like I don't know. I couldn't be happy with that.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, it's
just
because they do not want to love, they want control over people. That's why they constantly bitch and moan about like getting little children, basically. Or
I
like
think that's what
in a
they think they
relationship.
want.
can you.
I think part of the reason why these
clarify
guys
that?
fall for this shit is because they've never been with a woman before. So it's easy to like
Mhm.
think
Yeah,
of this
definitely.
fantasy where she just does everything you say and she never disagrees with you and she's this ultra super feminine trad wife.
Wait, he
But,
needs to
you know.
clarify that. You don't know my channel. You don't know the content that I cover a lot. When somebody says they just want to get the children, I need clarification here. This is very important.
Or me.
Look,
I like-
I'm sure like
Jack, I
I'm sure
think.
like
Jack's
Matt
here,
Walsh
right?
and shit
Still?
is an incel too.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, when I
Okay,
said
he's
children, I mean like yeah. They
What do you mean
usually
you said
go
you
for
wanna
like
get them?
18-year-olds, 19-year-olds.
Use them as broodmare.
I
I believe
mean,
what you're
like-
saying. Yes.
Okay, you mean
Yes, they wanna fuck
barely
them,
legal
yes,
adults?
they wanna-
Okay. Because
Yes,
when you said get, I
yes,
thought you meant
that's
fuck.
yeah.
And as long as we're talking about adults, all right, then no questions are needed. We don't need any clarifications.
Look,
But
I
people
think-
will
I
use you
think,
saying that against me if I don't get
Matt Walsh-
clarification.
I think
Really-
Matt
really
Walsh would
quick, guys,
qualify
I
as
just-
one of these incellers.
We're speaking over women right now. I want to let this woman speak because I didn't give her an opportunity to.
Yes, queen, give us nothing sissy that walk. I love that pussy smelling like dirty pennies. Yes, bitch, give us snot. Give us discharge. You are gay. The sissy hypno begins now. Gooner, gooner, lick it up. Gooner, gooner, lick it up. Gooner, gooner, lap it up.
Whose voice is that?
I was
That
so
is,
wholly unprepared.
This is the reason society.
I mean, I got a better version of it.
You guys
that
that
one
didn't
wasn't
laugh,
that
you're
good.
dead
This
inside.
is- Wait. I'll play it one more time with a different variation on the voice settings, and then you tell me whether or not you think that you can figure out who this is. I'll give her a different sentence here. I'll give her this. I'll just drop this paragraph in there.
Oh, shit.
Here, boom.
Oh, no.
Generate.
Well, that's loading.
It's about to play any second. Oh, hold on. System is busy.
Okay.
Son of a
Twitch
bitch.
viewers. I'm 4 viewers away from
What
hitting
does that
100
mean?
benchmark. They have 500 followers on Twitch if I get 4 more. God, YouTube did so much better than Twitch.
Here, one sec.
Oh, that's nice. How many subscribers do you have?
Subscribe like on Twitch?
On YouTube?
800 something? 809. So there's a little bit of ways to go still.
That's awesome, my man.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well,
Thank you.
Bravo.
I
Yeah, good
the
work.
only
talk about very
reason I haven't-
controversial figures regularly. It helps.
The only reason I've been too lazy to stream lately is because when I had to reset my PC because it fucking decided to stop working, it also reset my OBS, and I don't want to have to go through and set up all the fucking overlay shit again.
How many times do I need to say this? You can, anybody who I've streamed with ever, you can DM me about your computer problems. I have been in IT for almost 18 years.
Oh, I'm trained in cybersec. I literally the only thing that could have fixed what I did. What was
People in
going wrong,
cybersec don't know hardware always, though.
That's fair.
And they act like I have no idea. Like I don't want to learn hardware. I'm like, bro, it'll take you 10 minutes. If you're in cybersec, you can just learn it. They're like, no.
Oh,
Programmers
no,
sometimes are like that too.
The problem that I was having was my Windows was constantly crashing and a bunch of other shit. I looked into it. The only way to fix it was to just fucking reset my Windows.
Oh yeah, that's like the go-to if nothing quick and easy works, of course.
Can I ask why your Windows are crashing?
I just forgot to move all of my OBS fucking overlay files into
Being an incomplete female.
Hey, I mean, it just finished loading, so I'll do that in a segment. I can literally set up an OBS in less than an hour, and I'm talking about to the complexity that I have. This took me 10 minutes to do. So
he spent a couple hours with me to get mine.
I actually have a generic folder, which has a bunch of nested folders that you could throw your assets in. Send that over to me. Install all the plugins that are inside of the folder, and then an hour later, I'll send you back a file that you can load into your OBS. They'll be fully functional, and all you have to do is press 3 buttons to make it integrate with your stuff.
Streamer Tech Squad.
One of the biggest things is I need to find a new overlay because the overlay that I was using was one that I stole from Stream Elements.
You won't need it. You won't need any of that shit.
Not Stream Elements, but
you won't need any of that stuff. I'm saying I can make your shit fully functional if you just send me a couple of assets. You won't even need an overlay because instead of having an overlay, there's advanced mask. I have all kinds of things that can make it so that your thing fits in the scene without having to have an express image file that is copywritten or anything.
You see, Tuna
Are overlays still a thing?
Tuna did this for me in just a couple hours, and it's mostly because I'm lagging behind him, doing what he says and fucking up. Can you see the whole scene now? Oh wait,
no, we still are just seeing you. Changed it. Hey, okay, yeah. This and even this, he's changed some things that make it worse, but. There are also some things that make it better. People were saying that the table, apparently, they said that I sabotaged you at the table. I don't think so. I thought it was fun.
I didn't like the table because if I sized myself, it would freak the fuck out, so I couldn't change anything on the fly really quick, so I was like, just no table for right now. If we come back to the table...
Okay, it's a good gag, but you don't have to have it all the time. That's why I made it so it can go away.
Yeah.
But anyway, I want to play this AI girlfriend thing real quick. It's pretty fun.
Being an incomplete female, the male spends his life attempting to complete himself, to become female. He attempts to do this by constantly seeking out, fraternizing with, and trying to live through and fuse with the female, and by claiming as his own all female characteristics, emotional strength and independence.
It started gargling there, but whose voice do you think it is? Look at the image for a hint. It's not Elsa, by the way. If you try looking at the features
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, figured it out, buddy.
I knew she looked.
I thought it was her. I thought it was her face from the beginning, but I was like, "Who is this? Is it Ice Spice on that voice? Who is?"
Yeah, it's because the fucking AI is it. So what I use 11 Labs, and it has 2 multilinguals, 1 English, and 1 what's called Turbo. And the Turbo is made for being fast, and I usually use that one. But sometimes when it does that, it like because I want to be able to ask it a question, have it answer right away. But when you use that, it just sometimes like gargles like crazy. It fucking sucks.
So
AI,
thank you
man.
for showing me
Crazy.
why I need to burn in hell.
Showing the images. Oh man, which one do I have here? So the one with Whick is very fun. Obviously, God, that
Oh my god.
he looks like
Yeah,
like
that was
the
a terroristic
KFC guy.
threat. Colonel
Feels
Sanders.
No,
constipated.
that's Adam Conover and Wick's child.
Jesus
Adam
Christ.
Conover is an unfortunate comparison. That definitely is.
It's true,
Blends
though.
their
Colonel
features
Sanders.
very well.
A younger, more strong. Okay, that's like the Nicki Minaj voice on her was so unexpected. I was like, what?
Yeah, you'd expect that she'd have like a
He
little bit more.
ruined you with that. You were fucked
Hoity-
up for
hoity.
like 10 minutes after it was done.
I was shocked that he even like pulled that. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? The fact that you even pulled up the image of it on your fucking. I was like, what is this man capable of? What the fuck is
He was ready
happening?
to go to
Like,
war for Nikki's honor.
Do you know about? I've got a.
No, I
I've
was
got a
worried
couple
about
of
him
voices
summoning
here that
her
are really,
fans.
really good. Okay, give me something that you want your new girlfriend to say.
I won't partake in this. I was worried about you summoning the barbs though, but I will let you guys. I will let you guys do this. I fear this technology.
No, I swear to God, I have no feeling in my asshole at all.
Forcefulness, dynamism, decisiveness, coolness, objectivity.
Hold on. Let's see.
I won't partake in this. 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 I won't partake in this.
Whose voice do you think that is?
I don't
the
like
Nikki
it.
one is pretty decent though.
I have no
The
idea.
voice sounded familiar, but I can't put a name
That's
to it.
Brianna Wu.
Oh my! You know
I'm not
what's really,
familiar
really
enough.
funny.
I won't partake in this. I won't partake in this. I won't partake in this. I won't partake in this.
The name that popped into my head was Demon Mama.
Dude,
I
she
swear
got
to
that
God,
vocal
I just didn't
fry.
want to say it.
That shit is too accurate for me to not be scared by every time I hear it. Like, what the fuck, bro?
There
I
is
just don't want the
nothing more
barbs to
scary
come.
than Suno. Suno has put the fear of God in me about AI. I showed a guy who owns a record store because he didn't know
how good it is. Yeah,
how complex that like this is. When I basically put in the genre characteristics of Tool in there, and when it had like 3 different like sounds, and then they all meshed together, when it finally reached the progressive peak, I'm like, that's terrifying. The level of understanding of music that Suno has is something that humans don't fully understand when they're creating it. They have to feel it out and guess and just sort of know that it's right when it happens. And it can do that in 30 seconds. Create 2 of those in 30. That freaked me out. That's when I was like, we lost. It's over. Like it has found something that we create with our soul, our art, something ephemeral, and it was like, no, it's just math.
check this one out really quick. This is the most insanely high quality. You're not going to believe that this is a Suno song, but also like, okay, I'll press the button. You get this. It doesn't feel like AI at all. This one.
I listen to Suno songs I made.
Darkness, he sits all alone, straining his thoughts to a world unknown, tapping on his keyboard, lost in the street, searching for connections, but it's all just a dream.
It's about par for the course.
As the numbers rise, he
Get ready
feels
for it, bro.
so
You aren't even ready for what it's about to do.
but deep inside, part of him dies, trading with life for this virtual show.
Is that Lord or some shit?
It's just the Suno voice.
Yep.
Let me look up this Suno. I don't know what the fuck Suno even is.
I've made like 60 songs by now.
Oh, you can make songs on this shit.
That's what this is. Check this out.
Trading real life for this virtual show. Do not chips the star, and nobody knows.
Yo, this been destroying musicians' careers.
It's so funny. The record store owner guy was like, "Oh, some artists are gonna be in trouble." Then I played him the Toolish one, and I was like, "Everybody's in trouble." He was like,
Yeah, this is catastrophic for musicians. I don't know how they're gonna be able to compete with this shit. Because this song actually sounds well produced, and it's just an AI.
Yeah, so
the instrumentals are
the way that it
insane.
works.
Have you
the
done
way that it
anything?
works is that it is able to make all of the sounds separately, combine them as one audio file, and it plays that for you. So that's why it's so much better than previous models, because previous models were trying to listen to music and then produce one raw sound. But this is a company that's actually run by musicians, so they understand how music works. They understand what the mimetic structures it's pulling from are, and that the only way that you're going to get this stuff to sound real is if you produce the guitar, the bass, the drums, and all of these things as separate audio files, mix them and master them, and then send it to people. I've got new metal. I created a song. I typed for the genre Punjabi new metal. It legitimately is just a new good genre. It sounds, and there's no Punjabi new metal. So it's not in competition with other music. And that's the real thing that I think we're looking at is like new genres, new frontiers, stuff that isn't a genre. It's not going to replace music that currently exists, but it is like making it so that anybody that has an idea that they can express as a prompt, the AI is going to dream it up for them. They don't need to have the talent of imagination anymore. They don't have to have the talent of execution. And if you have, so what I'm doing is I'm prompting stuff in there, and then I'm learning how to play these songs and rewriting certain parts and just actually writing real music using it as an imagination tool. And that's extremely effective for it.
I've been using it as a comedy factory.
Though-
A lot of the funniness comes from the fact that the music's so good with a silly premise. But the
of course,
context,
yeah, that too.
the lyrical ability, but based on context, I said I wanted a song about the time my dad got drunk and tried to fight the Little Mermaid at Disneyland. And in the song, when the dad approaches the Little Mermaid, he screams, "You're no American. You're better off dead." I was like, it made him a white supremacist. Or it made him a white nationalist. That's fucking crazy. Sorry. And she fought her, and she literally ate his MAGA hat. That was the prompt. But it made him a nationalist. He didn't just have a MAGA hat. He was like,
Do you guys?
I was blown
have
away.
I shown you guys the one that Smeth made?
Oh, it's good.
Oh, there's one in particular. So not the one he posted on Twitter. He didn't post the one that I think is valuable. I've downloaded and stolen and find this. I've got two that I want to show. One that is one that Smith made, and it like sent me down a line because I've been making propaganda music with it. That's been the thing that's the most interesting and effective. But let's see, which is the name? This one. I'm looking through the list here. Gangsta Claus, Fuel in the Fire, Clown Patrol. All Sing Sunday. Oh no, it's not. It's going to be in the second list then. Where are we at?
How far have you gotten with jailbreaking it? It took me
a
about
lot.
20 minutes.
Me and Chodole have been working on it a lot. I can make it say slurs. I can make it. I can make it say that you can kill the president. I can make it do anything.
It took me about 20 minutes to get it to say, "I saw you fucking bagel bites."
I have a song here. Let me play this song. So this is the new metal January 6th song that I made.
Fuck the brothers in my steel, beside my rights, and the boys come down and drag a couple highlights. Now that my ex-wife's gone and my daughter's a man, I'm gonna restore glory to this promised land. And get high, and get low. Eyes popping out of OG sideshow. Deep shape, with some more. I'm gonna kick down that big white door. Free Palestine, free the USA, free Iran, free the girls of Bombay. Yeah, street styles and dead, as we tighten the belts round these fingers too
It's insane.
It's insane. White folks in power can't let you get away with this. They can't let you get away with
this. This is fun.
Just for you, I'm gonna put a video up with some of the best because I've made a lot of hilarious songs that I just can't help but listen to because they sound good. I'm gonna send you one.
Oh, the one that's his is called this. Yeah. Oh, okay. I found it. I found the one that's his. But yeah, what were you saying?
I was just gonna send you like the best song that I
gotta do it.
AI wrote the first half, and then I wrote the second half because if you want to make a full song, you only get half of their ability to write the lyrics. You can't get it to write like the second half of a song unless I'm missing something. Can you?
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated than that. I can show you how it's pretty hard to make it follow prompts. And so the AI song that I used on the Brianna Wu panel is actually 2 chunks, and I had to edit it to make it work.
I've explained to other people when I talk to them about it. Like that's probably the best way to do it if you can't write. Like, don't get me wrong, my second verse isn't my second half isn't brilliant, but like I can write, so I made it work.
Yeah, it's tough. Let me see. I think that this is the one that is his, which is.
I gotta take my leave. See y'all later. Y'all stay safe. All
Peace
right.
out, homie.
Yeah, see you later, for shot. Thanks for coming on.
Day, my man. Much love.
Yeah, and I have
think
till
this would
9, so I
be
got 7 more
one?
minutes.
Down a dusty.
No, that's not the one. That's the one
I
about.
love
killing a
that
homeless
sound.
man.
I have
That's the one
that sound
about-
for Walmart breeding Pokemon to use as slaves for their industrial expansion.
What?
That's the tone that
What?
song has, and I love it.
Clown Patrol. This one here is really, really good.
Time.
Check this one out, bro.
Walking down the street late at night, clowns on every corner giving me a fright. Their hooligan tactics.
Soulful R&B, part of the prompt?
No.
It's time to take action. Gotta clean up this mess. Strolling through the darkness, gripping my bad tie.
Black spirituals.
Oh, that's very
You
similar.
can just say black instead of the N word, and it makes it just fine. You don't have to say the actual name of the genre. They don't care.
On a mission to rid the streets of clowns' minds. They're painted on smiles, hiding something dark. I'm a one-man army, gonna leave my mark. Raising up my back, ready to strike. No more clowning around, gonna make it right. Swinging with all my might, I won't miss a beat. Sending those clowns running, admitting defeat.
This robot has more fucking like, it plays blues guitar better than your dad. Like
All right.
the shit's gonna be insane.
I'm jealous. Play my song that I sent you.
Yeah. Let me. You send it on in the
Discord.
DM. Yeah. I'll pull
The
it.
prompt, I'm so proud of the prompt. It's basically I just try to think of the silliest thing I could possibly imagine hearing a song about, and then I just do that. And
Hey, gnome invasion.
Yeah.
Let's see what's like.
Yeah, I was just minding
Go.
my own business.
Have an amazing day.
But now that
What'd you say? Oh, he was bouncing. Okay.
the oven, they came in a witness. 50 little gnomes with mischief in their eyes. Building Lego Star Wars sets, what a surprise. They took over my living room, they took over my den. Lego Millennium Falcon, X-Wing and BB-8. But my girlfriend's coming over with her parents tonight. I need to clean it up, it's gonna be a fight.
Get ready to have your socks blown off.
Gnome invasion, gotta clean it up, clean it up. Lego Star Wars sets the building non-stop. Gnome invasion, what am I gonna do? Gotta make it right for me and for you. Gonna need the power of the force to get this evening back on course. And my girlfriend's parents don't believe gnomes, of course. They're all invaders, like my personal mini Darth Vaders. Messing up the place, building Lego Star Wars like it's a fucking race. Everyone I clean up, they've already built 10 more. How am I gonna get these pests out of my door? Gnome invasion, gotta clean it up. Lego Star Wars sets the building non-stop. Gnome invasion, what am I gonna do? Gotta make it right for me and for you. We've got land until you need something sly. Maybe a little bit risky. I grabbed my old toy lightsaber from under my bed. I screamed, if you don't all leave with your Legos, I'll put this thing through your head. Fast as they came, even faster they left. Legos all gone and probably a bit of theft. But my girlfriend's parents came over tonight, what can I say? At least tonight I get to be openly gay. Gnome invasion, gotta clean it up. Lego Star Wars sets the building non-stop. Gnome invasion, what am I gonna do? Gotta make it right for me and for you.
Pretty good, man.
I'd
Pretty
say
good.
the second half not bad for spending 1 whole minute of writing on it, right?
Yeah, no, it works. It works, man. I'm trying to find the Smeth one. It's so crazy good. I think I'm hoping it's not accidentally deleted. It must have gotten moved. Wait, maybe music. Oh, it's in streamed songs, but it's not in my Suno one. That's why. It's called This Land Is Your Land.
I added that song to my Spotify so I could hear it. It sounds
It's
so
so
good,
good, dude. Is it land? Let me see where it's written in here. Witness, Untitled. It's not gonna be that one. Oh wait, maybe. Wait, what is this? That's that stupid fucking. Let me take you for a walk. Cool in the gang. Man, it's gotta be in here somewhere.
Oh, by the way, I
Just don't know
want to
where I
ask you,
saved it. Oh wait, okay. Allah save us. I saved it under that. Okay.
how'd you like my
This one's
little magic
crazy.
trick on the panel? Did you like that?
What's the magic trick?
I made the dollar float.
Okay, buddy. You're so talented. I feel like I'm talking to a kid about their fucking hand painting or something. I wasn't paying attention to it.
I have done magic tricks that have made adults cry, bro. I swear to God. These are just the little easy ones to get on the camera.
Tricks that have made adults cry. I'm sorry. Here's this one, real quick.
Wait, did you say this is unreleased?
Is your land. This land is our land. Give it back, take a stand. Allah save us, Allah save us, Allah save us. Free Palestine, fight the power, keep the lights on from the water. Red, green, and white, light up the city, make them angry and all bigotry. Allah save us, Allah save us, Allah save us. Free Palestine, fight the power, keep the lights on, run the water.
Oh, would you like me to park your car?
Yeah, no, that one's Smith. I can't take credit for that one.
Did you say that was unreleased?
No, that's not unreleased. He sent it to me. I was doing a Suno stream, and he made it while he was in chat and sent it to me.
How brilliant that makes me want to make a country
It's so
western
good.
context gangster rap song.
I've got a couple of these ones that I made by inspiration of that one, including this the new liberal national anthem. Let's go ahead and play that one.
Oh, say, can you see my love of crushing spies? Once so proudly we hailed, way that was kind of saucy, whose black rights and gay rights through the perilous fight. Oh, the drag race we watched were so gallantly sashing, and the orange man was slain, the cabinet filled with girls again. Gave proof through the night that our swag was still there. Oh, say that spangled rainbow flag, and we're the land of the oppressed and the home of the minority.
That our swag was
It's
still
so
there
fucking
is
funny.
fantastic.
Our swag was still there for
Yes.
the home of the oppressed. Oh wait, was it for the land of the oppressed and the home of the minority? It's so funny. I just
Nothing
like
hit like that. Our swag was still there because it's so perfect because it's young speak going over top
yeah.
of the most precious pseudo religious symbol, and also just the word swag is fucking hilarious used in any serious context.
Cop this one. This one's on the same ticket as that one.
Excess.
Come again?
I was just gonna give an example. Like, you can take our lives, but you'll never take our swag. So you
You'll never
can't use
take
it in
our
a serious
swag, no.
context without it being hilarious.
You can take our lives, but you'll never take our Wish.com, TikTok, Gucci swag.
Apply some accessibility. We're breaking down the walls from the youngest to the oldest. We're answering the call. Accomplice for the cause. We're in this fight together, shouting out against ageism, making changes forever. Ally, standing strong against bias and bigotry. Unite as one for BIPOC, setting everyone free. Cisgender and transgender, welcome with open arms. No room for discrimination, let's sound the alarms. We're breaking the chains, no room for classism. Embrace the culture, no more ableism. Together we'll rise, diversity will endorse. In this inclusive beat we'll find our true course. Through wilderness, we'll find our true course.
The whimsical child's programming instrumental.
You would not believe your eyes when 10,000 Russian spies. I gotta make that one. That's the one I've been working on in my brain, but I gotta figure out how to. I gotta find an AI that'll let me. I might just find the instrumental for that and sing it myself because that one's too funny too. But I've been messing. Yeah, that one's good. All the propaganda ones are so funny.
If you want to work on one with me, I'm gonna put out a YouTube video with like a handful of them that I've made that I just genuinely love. I have an EDM song about my dog, where like the primary beat carrying lyric is "Kiora is the dog, dog, dog," and it's my van, the subwoofers. It's insane. It is. The boppiest house song.
I got one that you reminded me of because of the repetition of dog. Let me see if this one is the right. I have two versions saved in my downloads. I don't remember which is which.
All right, I gotta go after that. I said 9, but I was only waiting for my wife to get home.
Say it again.
I said I gotta go after that. I said 9 I had to go, but I was really just waiting for my wife to come home. She just came home, so play this and then I gotta dip.
Okay, this will be end of the thing. Thanks for having us on.
I'm so glad that we're nobody.
Oh yeah, buddy.
I have nobody that understands the passion that's united.
Hot loads of Suno back and forth, swishing back and forth like little snow buddies, snowballing.
Feeling kinda anxious, feeling kinda strange, feeling kinda like my whole life is a stage. But no one in attendance, the curtains start closed. Fuck it, I'm alone now, let's take off our clothes. I'ma be a Laguna, 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 Laguna. fuck it, I'm a
She saying gooner?
She's saying gooner. Yeah, she's saying fuck it, I'm gonna be a gooner. Gooner. Yeah, there's more.
My brain's just not used to hearing gooner in that voice.
No, get ready for it, brother. Get ready. It's about to break open. You stop interrupting. It's about to explode like a fat load.
Hands up, don't shoot. I'm a gonna, about to bust a rope. I'ma hit him with this choke. Gonna, about to bust a rope. I'ma hit him with this choke. Gonna, about to bust a rope. I'ma hit him with this choke. Gonna, about to bust a rope. I'ma hit him with this choke. Gonna, 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 feeling kinda anxious, feeling kinda strange.
Yeah, imagine that. You know that you're taking a fucking viral load to that in the club. You know you're pulling your pants down and taking it up the fucking ass to that. That is like this. That's the song of the summer right there.
I think it'd be a bit more danceable if it was just had a bit faster tempo to there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And that was just a first take on it, so I can make it a bit more. The main thing I wanted a song that could be used as standby music. I've been making a bunch of songs that are standby music for the stream, so I made that one. One of my favorite, hands up, don't shoot. I'm a gonna bust the load, gonna hit him with this rope, gonna. It's so fucking funny, bro. Oh, they're all so good. It's so easy if you learn the language that the AI understands music in.
Yeah. For me, this
you
is
do
the
know that
perfect
you already know
tool.
that. You know that you can write your own lyrics, right?
Yeah, I have. I wrote the.
That's what I assumed when it said that openly gay. That seemed like a lyric that an AI wouldn't make. Only a real man, only a real doll can make that.
Yeah, well, because there's the subtext the whole time that she is meeting her girlfriend's parents for the first time.
Oh yeah, true.
And so it's like a big deal that they get to be open. There's Kiora. Yeah, pup. She's got the Kiora dog song stuck in her head. I have it stuck in my head. It's so good.
It's good shit, man.
Are you streaming after this?
No. I'm taking a piss. I'm gonna do some more work on the house. I haven't told you much. I feel like maybe you saw some of the stuff that I was doing there this stream. I used a skill saw to cut the floor out from my bathroom because it was all rotted. It was all rotted wood. So then I put new wood in, and I did a self-leveling cement underlayment. So now I've got a new floor for that basement that's totally
cool.
stable. I have to pull all the trim and measure the trim. I own all the trim, but I have the trim puller and I have the nails, and I'm about to start doing that. So we're streaming tomorrow. I
was gonna say if you're streaming
during
right
panels,
after this.
and my new schedule, if you don't already know, is Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, from 5 to 10 Eastern.
I have to figure mine out. I got this job now, so I'll definitely stream on the weekends, but I haven't been streaming because I've been so stressed
What hours do you do?
about it.
What hours do you do?
9 to 5:30. Which the
9 to 5:30?
The hardest thing about getting a job in my field is that it's always labor. This isn't, which is insane. Surveillance, no labor. is that it usually starts at 6:30, but I'm an hour away from my wife's job. I have to have her there at 8. So I could just never get a job that starts at the normal time for my field. But this is it's like I've been rewarded for having done this for so long that it's like, no, you don't have to get on a ladder anymore. You can just sit at a desk because you know
no, I
enough
saw your thing.
to squander your abilities away.
If you end up doing the 9 to 5 slot on your off days, I'm going to heavily pressure you to do it Saturday so you can raid into me. If you end up doing a later one, I would heavily pressure you to start your stream at like 9 p.m., something like that. So you can do your dinner and do all that stuff, and then I'd be able to raid into you. So
that's really good. Yeah. Yeah, we should have an open document so we can see each other's shit so we can support each other better.
Yeah, for sure. I'm working on something in the background that can do some more community building with some other people. So
Are you
I'll
in Rising
definitely have
Tides?
you help in.
We have a foundation. Are you in the Rising Tides Discord? I have a foundation for that.
Well, it's not just that.
They say there's
People.
already people there.
I hear what you're saying. I've got some people that I'm already working with, and it's like it's not in a single place, and people don't commit that much time. I have a document which lists out when people stream, and I picked my hours based around it, and we all rate each other and stuff. So we've got a thing building organically, as opposed to intentionally. So
that's cool.
But anyway, I gotta piss like fucking crazy. You gotta get off. So see you later, man.
Take it easy.
See you later, Vid.
Yeah, it was a little bonus after the panel stuff. It was a little unstructured, I know. I don't know if you're a fan of Ren. I just did I think my first actual live reaction video to any music. Somebody requested that I do it, and I didn't listen to it yet. I'm a huge Ren fan, so I did that. A song, Troubles, is unreal levels of good. I always think Ren's not gonna bring it like he's gonna, and then he does, and I'm surprised in the best way, like every single time. Even if you don't care about my reaction, you should watch it on his channel and give him a like. He's got to be one of the hardest working musicians in the world. You should check him out. That's it for me. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the Twitch follows that I got, and I know I got at least one YouTube sub. I appreciate you a whole bunch. Thanks again to Froggy Style for the donation. And good night.